to Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours. Plenty to get into this afternoon, but obviously it's going to be a lot of talk on the NBA Finals as the Knicks with a road win last night in Game 1, 105-95 over the Spurs. We'll talk a lot about what happened in that game last night. A very interesting game, back and forth game throughout the night. So we'll talk a lot about Game 1. We'll start previewing Game 2 as well. We'll talk some draft, offseason, a little bit of everything when it comes to the NBA. Also got to talk some baseball, as Major League Baseball being a Thursday. We have a handful of day games. The Super Regionals get started tomorrow night as well. We'll have complete coverage of Ole Miss and their series against Auburn starting tomorrow night going into Saturday. And if it needs a Sunday game, we'll have that as well. We'll also talk some football, both college and the NFL. So a lot to get to over these next 3 hours. Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. And the prospect of New York taking Game 1 seemed remote. The odds were in San Antonio's favor. We all thought that the best chance for New York to get that split down there was to win Game 2, but to come back and do it, not the deficit they had to recover from in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, but down with 5 minutes left. It was San Antonio's game. And for San Antonio to only score 95 points, to hold them under 100. A lot of unlikely things, and unlikely, but Knicks up 1-0.
Yeah, no, it was really impressive, and we talked about it a lot yesterday about how you saw what they did in the Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 where they got down against the Cavs, and then they had enough gas in the tank with all that rest. Coming off the sweep in the round before where the Cavs didn't have any of that. They were on short rest after a Game 7. They were able to come back. And so the idea that maybe they would be the more rested team and that, they would be able to, late in that game, if it's close, be able to come back. I think that thought was there just because of that they already showed that they could do it in the last series. But we thought it would be tougher against the Spurs, but got to give them a lot of credit because, midway through that game, in the third quarter, it looked like San Antonio would have the opportunity to run away with it, got up by double digits, 13, 14 points or so. And then, the Knicks just, slowly were able to chip away at that lead and ultimately get the win last night. So really, really impressive stuff from the Knicks.
And when Cornette came in, Bronson knew, I'm going right to the cup.
Yeah.
He would attack the basket. When he would see him under the goal, it was Tora.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think you're going to have to use Luke Cornette in this series if you're San Antonio, and I think you're going to have to use him a lot more than they did last night. Only 10 minutes, that can't happen. He's got to be more effective. You've got to be able to use him more throughout this series. But I'll be curious how they play Jalen Brunson the rest of the way. I'd like to see some more Stephon Castle on him, making it difficult for Jalen Brunson. They kind of got away from that. They were kind of circulating and kind of different quarters, different possessions, going different guys on Brunson. So I'd like to see more Stephon Castle on him and try to make life difficult. But Jalen Brunson showed why a lot of people want to hail him as the best Knick, because he was really, really good last night. He came up clutch when they needed him to, even after having to leave the game early because of an injury, able to come back in and really be massive for them down the stretch of that game.
And you see the stories right now that late in the game, and you could see it at the scores table with Brunson and the official, of something going on late in the game. I haven't heard the conjecture or what maybe the fan might have been saying to him. I think he wanted the fan removed, didn't he?
Yeah, he was even after the game, John, with whoever was sitting there. But I still don't really know.
Have you seen? I know we probably can't say it, but what the dialogue was?
It was something around flopping. That's the only thing I've seen, but I haven't seen much about what it was. But yeah, you could certainly see after the game. You mentioned it, during the game as well. But certainly after the game, you saw him. Kind of going at the it was because it was right there, and I know Memphis has done that as well, where at the scores table they have some seating for fans, and you saw him kind of go directly towards the scores table, and the ABC broadcast at first thought he was going at one of somebody that was working the game, and then they quickly were like, no, it's a fan that he's jawing at. And so yeah, I don't know what exactly it was, but certainly it was something that got under his skin.
Okay, well, I'm going to kind of draw the line on acceptability or lack of acceptability on if we can't talk about it, then it was unacceptable and fan probably should be removed.
Mm-hmm.
If it's fan jawing at him about flopping, too bad.
Well, I mean, I just saw a tweet that said it was surrounding flopping. I'm sure it was not just, hey, Jalen Brunson, you flop a lot. You know, I'm sure it was a lot stronger than that. I just haven't seen any direct quotes or anything really. I haven't really thought much about it, since last night, and so I haven't really been looking for anything. It might be out there, and I just have missed it. But yeah, certainly something got under his skin last night.
I would just think if we can talk about what was said, then it's not that bad.
Yeah.
If we can't talk about it, exit for him. And another fan incident last night is the fan ran out on the court, was out on the court 11 seconds. That's a long time before building security kind of just ushered him out. It wasn't a big headlock out, was it?
No, it wasn't. He was
and networks didn't leave the network didn't leave the coverage.
No, which I was glad, because I like seeing that stuff. I don't like when they turn it away. I want to see what's going on out on the court. But obviously some kid looked like a teenager or young adult out there on the court wanting to get a selfie with Victor, failed at it because you can't even see Victor's face in the video that he took, and very sleepy by the Spurs security team out there to make sure he didn't get out there, because he was very quick to get in front of Wemby and then able to get him off the court and get him out of the arena. But that was certainly interesting last night.
I know security and authorities are scared to death of anything over the top. Mm-hmm. I didn't see anything in their reaction that would be a deterrent to the next one trying to do it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was kind of just gently ushered out of the building.
Sure, yeah. And it was weird. It was kind of weird how it all played out, because you kind of saw him out there, and I had to play it back and actually see him run towards Victor Wembanyama, because at first I just saw him in front of, it was kind of all at once, and I was like, oh, that's a fan out there in front of Victor Wembanyama. And so it almost seemed like the security had that same reaction at that moment. And so, got him off quickly after they realized, but it just took them a really long time to realize he was out there. And so, I don't know if that will cause more people to try to do that. I am pretty sure, though, that the NBA probably had a long talk with the Spurs and their security team, and probably with the Knicks and their security team as well, of this can't happen again. One time, whatever, but that cannot happen over and over again throughout this series.
But as I read it, correct me if I'm wrong, as I read it, no charges for that person. Is that right?
Well, I mean, I don't think it should be any criminal charges against him. I mean, banned from the arena, but I think other than that, it shouldn't be anything crazy.
Okay, and then we get to that, and it's lifetime ban from any NBA arena, is what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Unless every single arena in the league has some type of facial recognition that I'm not aware of, and that nobody else is aware of. What in the world? How could they stop him from coming to one of those Sunday matinee games in Memphis in November? Who would be prepared to go? That's him right there. Not allowed. That's game one guy.
Yeah, that's always I've always wondered that, because you always see this no matter what sport it is, when someone gets that lifetime ban from all arenas or ballparks or stadiums, whatever it might be. How can they really make sure? And so the only thing I can think of is obviously everything goes through online tickets now, and so you ban his email or whatever it is from buying tickets. But I feel like it'd be very easy to go around
best
that.
buddy.
Sure, exactly. I feel like it could be very easy, because I really don't know how you could, obviously in San Antonio, I think you could be better at, having pictures of his face or whatever to make sure he doesn't come in. But, if he goes up to Portland or here in Memphis or, Orlando, I think it would be very hard to make sure he stays out of arenas.
I just can't imagine every arena or any arena having some type of facial recognition, retinal scan. Heck, the 7th floor at Langley at CIA may not have all that.
No, definitely not. So, I've always wondered that. But, I guess it's just something to say, hey, we laid down the law on you're not coming back anytime soon, and hopefully that will keep other people from not doing it.
And then there was 10-gallon Hoss Cartwright cowboy guy on the front row.
Oh, I missed him. Kind
of free throw line extended as you're looking at the TV. It would be on your left. front row. No telling what that cost even in San Antonio. It's going to be a lot more in New York. And he never sat down.
Really?
Dude,
I missed
you're,
him.
You're on the front row.
Yeah.
And you've got a Hoss Cartwright 10-gallon
Yeah.
on.
Interesting. I missed that.
Ooh.
Was it a good look though? I mean, or was it kind of too much?
I think every front row in the league is just
that's
Tool
fair.
Central.
That's fair. Yeah, I missed that. I did not see the big old hat on the front row, but it was a happening game one, that's for sure.
It was, and some Knicks fans infiltrated front row, and I think they are in trouble over trying to get selfies.
Knicks fans infiltrating most of the arena last night.
Oh, did they?
I mean, there were a lot of Knicks fans there. We talked about it yesterday. I mean, cheaper to fly to San Antonio and get a ticket for that game last night or game 2 tomorrow night than to go to Madison Square Garden for any of the home games. And yeah, you saw them a lot, behind the Knicks bench, a lot, kind of throughout the arena. You could see them just because of all the, because the Spurs are really good about pregame, making sure everybody's got that shirt on. Whatever section you're on, you better be wearing that shirt. So it's very easy to kind of point out where the Knicks fans were, and you heard them late in the game when the Knicks, it was sealed. You could hear them throughout the arena. So yeah, no, Knicks fans showed out last night.
Are we getting there? Are we prepared? I know it's one game, and I know Allen Iverson started up 1-0 on Kobe and the Lakers, and that was the last one they won. I think this team is better, and I don't think San Antonio is quite the opposition 76ers were facing in the Lakers that year. Are we prepared for the Knicks winning at all?
Yeah, I mean, I guess they're in the finals. You have to be. You should have already been prepared for it. So
and up 1-0,
a 50-50 shot going into it that they can win it. But no, I'm not gonna change my pick or my opinion on this series after one game. I thought the Spurs
we would let you because we're very sporting.
Sure, yeah, no, very.
If you would
you're the most supporting. I always feel
we're always
love.
here for them.
Yeah, no, great teammates when it comes to things like that.
All our picks are gentlemanly sports, just like our
Very
golf
much so.
picks. Even though John has made a lot of fun today of landing over Alex Smalley's 83,
Not
a pro
great.
golfer shooting 83 today, Landon, and I did not join in on that.
No, you did not. You just stated the facts.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
just the score
yep.
and the facts. That's it.
It's not great when you shoot that poorly.
Pro golfer shot 83.
It's not great, But
But John still considers it a great pick.
Sure, that's all that matters. But you said yesterday this is an event that doesn't have a cut, so only up from there for Alex Smalley.
If he finishes Sunday, he gets a check.
So only you can only imagine it's got to be better than what it was today going forward. But no, I don't want to overreact. Obviously, the Knicks played better last night. That's why they are up 1-0 in the series. I thought the Spurs played really poorly. I thought they looked exhausted out there, and I think they'll play a lot better the next however many games we get in this series. I still think they're going to win it. I think they'll bounce back in game 2 and still a game on, at least one game on the road.
Fun game.
And I think we could be in for a longer series than I thought we would be. But I do still think the Spurs are gonna win this thing.
I think so. I'm for the Knicks, but I think San Antonio wins.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Obviously, up 1-0 certainly helps the Knicks, and like you mentioned, it was a big comeback, a big fourth quarter for the Knicks, and Jalen Brunson really, really good in that fourth quarter. 13 of his points coming in the final quarter. And for the Spurs, I mean, they really couldn't shoot the ball at all last night, and then certainly in the fourth quarter, they could not buy a basket. I thought Victor Wembanyama all night was pressing way too much. It felt like he felt like everything was on his shoulders, and he had to do everything for his team, and I thought that really hurt him last night.
I have said it, but I'm stealing this line exactly from Big Perk earlier today. Kendrick Perkins says, you want Victor Wembanyama thinking post player first, guard second.
Yeah, no, you
And
don't.
I thought it was a little too guardsy last
Yeah,
night.
I just thought everything he did was too much. From the opening tip,
Just
he was.
pressing's a good word.
Yeah, he was. You could tell, and you could see it.
I don't think it was nerves. Did you think it was nerves, or just trying to do too much?
I mean, I think when you're trying to do too much, a lot of that comes from nerves. I think a lot of it was he feels like he's the best player. I mean, he is the best player on his team, and I think he knows how big the moment is. I think he wants it so bad that he just whether you want to call it nerves, whatever you want to call it, he's just trying to do everything for his team. And while that's great, I mean, we always talk about, you want guys to give their hardest out there, whatever. At times that can really hurt you. And I thought last night it just killed him and it killed his team and was a big reason why they lost that game last night.
Well said. I agree.
Yeah. So we'll talk a lot more about game one last night, what happened between the Knicks and the Spurs. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. At 3:30, I mentioned it. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. Game one, we'll take a deep dive into everything that took place last night. Jalen Brunson, really, really good for the Knicks, leading to a 1-0 lead in the finals. 3:45, we'll talk some baseballs. We've got a lot of day action across Major League Baseball, being a Thursday, a little bit of a shorter slate of games tonight, but we'll talk about what happened last night, what has happened today, and some of these games later tonight as well. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He'll join us to talk the NBA. We'll talk a lot about the NBA Finals, what took place last night, what he expects the rest of the season. We'll go back to the Western Conference Finals, talk about the Thunder being eliminated, and we'll talk some NBA offseason as we're getting closer and closer to the NBA draft. Speaking of the draft, Nathan Grubel joined us last week. He's going to join us again at 4:30 this afternoon. You can follow him on Twitter at Draft Deeper. He's part of the No Ceilings crew. He covers the NBA draft. Last week, talked a lot about the Grizzlies and what they'll do at those 3 spots that they have in the draft. But today we'll go more just kind of around the draft, some of the top players, his thoughts on the draft class as a whole. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, really interesting tweet that, Brett, you saw earlier this morning about all of the big events in the sports world. It was Sam Block who posted it on Twitter, and it was 12 sporting events. His question was, keep 3, cut 9 of these sports events: March Madness, NBA playoffs, WNBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, college football playoffs, NFL playoffs, Major League Baseball postseason, College World Series, Wimbledon, the World Cup, the Olympics, and the Masters. Keep 3, cut 9. So at 5 o'clock, we'll dive into those events, talk about which 3 we're keeping and which of the 9
I have mine in order.
we're cutting. Okay, I like that. I think I have mine in order. I think they could change very easily, but it's hard. Very hard for me to eliminate 9.
And this tweet, I did send it to you today, and I've been holding it. Sam sent it out, I want to say Masters Week. You'd have to look at that date of it.
Yeah. It was early March 4th, so a little before
pre-NCAA tournament.
Yeah, that was around the time when we were all getting excited of, hey, March Madness. Then you roll into the Masters, and then kind of everything else. So that was
and I
kind of rolling
thought
into all that.
Good nugget for the proverbial June show.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Good nugget. It's June.
Here we are. I like that. So definitely we will talk about that at 5 o'clock. Kind of go through what we're keeping, what we're cutting, and how close we were to keeping some of the ones that we ended up cutting. We'll do that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll get to Mo's Crunch Time. I do want to bring up some things, whether it is in that 5 o'clock segment during the Keep 3, Cut 9, or during what's trending, because Brett, if I can have a second as I'm screaming across the room.
And you may, yes, of course. Oh,
we have the Lindy Sports Magazine in front of us in hand.
I totally failed you. I promised you on Tuesday it would be in your clutches Wednesday. I couldn't find it. Did deliver on Sporting News.
That's right.
You deliver on Lindy's.
Right.
Way to go.
I got the Lindy's, and there's actually some really intriguing stuff in here.
Are you going to pay me back and dog ear the cover?
No. I was able to
throw it around, sit on it in your car.
No. Yeah, I'm just gonna rip through it. There are gonna be pages missing now. I was actually went by the Barnes & Noble in Germantown, the fairly new location, and they had 3 copies left. And so I don't know how many they had in stock because it just came out. It either hit the shelves today or yesterday or the day before. I mean, it's been very recent. And so I had my pick on 3, and I got the 2 prettiest in there.
Wonder who we left it for the lone survivor to get the last one.
Let us know if you go by the Barnes & Noble in Germantown. You get a Lindy Sports copy. You're welcome, because I left that one for you. But there are some really interesting things, Tiger-related, SEC-related in there
My last page looked good.
Oh, it looks great. I did. I flipped to that. I wasn't like you. It wasn't the first thing I flipped to. But I also use these magazines as content, as you know,
Yes,
Brett.
yes.
And so I was looking at other things, but yes, I did flip back and some really good things. I don't want to spoil anything before you have it in your hands, but some good
Can't
things
wait.
back
Thank
there.
you.
No, it is good stuff, and yes, you will have that copy when I see you next. But I do want to get to that a little bit later in the show. But let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer, it's right around the corner. It's time to get those backyards ready for the ultimate pool party. Above ground pools starting at $39.99 installed, with in-ground pools starting at just $49.999. All in-stock patio furniture, it's priced to move, with 5-piece patio furniture sets starting at $999. Outdoor sectionals starting at $12.99 with free umbrella and base with select patio furniture sets. Hot tubs starting at $34.99 with swim spas at $16,999, and special financing, it's available. So head out there today, and if you head out there, mention this ad and get $200 off any pool or spa purchase, only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. We are Sportstime. Our producer, Landon Schmidt. We're live and local and with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be with us by texting or calling the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line at 901-360-8255. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Always from our Family Leisure Studios. And it is swimming pool season, as Brian just described. And we appreciate them so very much in this hour every day, always brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. You can drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it is last night's Game 1 between the Knicks and the Spurs. 105-95, the final in San Antonio, and we talked about it, and we talked about it with all of these series. All that road team wants to do is just take one of the first two games, and the Knicks able to take the very first game. But it wasn't easy for either of these teams, certainly not the Spurs. Brett, you mentioned less than 100 points last night. They shot the ball extremely poorly, 36% from the field, 26% from three. You look in that fourth quarter, just really bad stuff from the Spurs, 28.6% from the field last night in that fourth quarter. And on the other side, the Knicks, while it wasn't a unbelievable shooting night for them either, 41% from the field, only 31% from three, they were able to make more noise when it mattered the most. Jalen Brunson, 30 points for him. He was 12 for 31, but in that fourth quarter, he really stepped up. 13 points, was super efficient. 4 turnovers for him, only 8 turnovers for the Knicks as a whole. You had Karl Anthony Towns with 18 points, 12 rebounds, and he did a really nice job defensively as well. OG Anunoby with 17 points. Landry Shamet, we mentioned him last night or yesterday afternoon. He comes off the bench, 13 points, 5 for 9 from the field. And then they had other guys stepping up that weren't necessarily making shots but doing other things. Josh Hart, just an incredible performance from him last night. Only 3 points, 1 for 5. You realized early that the shot isn't falling, so I'll just be a monster everywhere else on the court. 15 rebounds for him, 6 assists, 4 steals, a blocked shot, just doing anything and everything out there on the court to help his team, and it mattered because they needed all of those hustle statistics from him. On the other side, for San Antonio, 26 for Victor Wembanyama, but he was 6 for 21 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. He made a lot of his money at the free throw line, 12 for 13 there. Julian Champagnie, a nice game. Stephon Castle, a decent game. Outside of that, not much. Dylan Harper looked good off the bench, but now a lot of people questioning, Why did they go so far away from him in the fourth quarter? I understand De'Aaron Fox being that veteran, being that older guy, wanting to have him on the floor. But after you've seen him go 3 for 13 and Dylan Harper looking nice off the bench, I mean, at some point it feels like you got to make that change and go, let's go with the young guy that's got the hot hand. They didn't do that, and we'll see how they bounce back for game 2.
First time for the Knickerbockers to be under 100 points since a loss in Madison Square Garden March 1st to the Spurs.
Holy cow. Wow.
Scored 89 that night.
How about that? Interesting.
The Knicks are just brimming with confidence.
Yeah,
That's my top story. The Knicks now, they haven't lost in 42 days. We'll get into tomorrow. That'll be day 43. They could lose tomorrow. But now that they haven't lost in 42 days, and they're only three wins away from the biggest party in New York City maybe ever, 105-95. But the comeback and the win a little bit mirrored game 1 in Cleveland. Not as big a deficit, but still had to come back, and that gave them all the confidence they needed the rest of that series. And that kind of crushed Cleveland. 30 from Brunson. And they kept it manageable. Is it manageable when Wemby only gets 26? There's a lot of attempts to get the 26.
It was a lot of attempts. He was very inefficient. It was not a
they
good
kept
match.
They kept it efficient against him. Better word than manageable. They can now win it all at the Garden just by winning the home games there. It doesn't matter what they do tomorrow night. You win those 3 in New York City, in Lower Manhattan, then the party's on.
No, the party would never stop if they're able to win it, especially if they can win it at home.
Well, and it'll be funny next year after they win it. When will be the first time the home crowd boos them next year?
Well, very early, I would anticipate if things get a little rocky.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, well, it is. I'm going to pull it out again. The magazines are here. It's magazine season, and so far, I've flipped through 3 of them. Athlon Sports, The Sporting News, now Lindy Sports. I actually learned this today, Brett. ESPN magazine releasing a college football preview tomorrow, I believe, so we'll have to be on the lookout for that. And then, obviously, we know we'll get Phil Steele here in about a month, but the consensus for the Tigers is about somewhere between about 2 and 4 in the conference. Lindy Sports actually the lowest on the Tigers. They have them finishing 5th. The other 2 having them finish 2nd in the conference, which would mean a conference championship game appearance. But the one thing that you can take away from all of them, whether they have them as number 2, whether they have them as number 5, whatever bowl they have them going in, the one takeaway is a lot of people are really impressed with the talent that Charles Huff has brought to this team, what he has put at every single position on the field. The big question, it seems like, is that continuity. Can you get all of these new guys to buy in, to fit as a team, to go out there and make the type of run that some people believe the Tigers could make this season? It feels like there's going to be a lot of confidence with this team and with the fan base going into the season. But one of the things I wanted to point out from this magazine is they ranked the top 15, I think it was, as I try to find it, the top 15 non-conference games of the season across college football. 2 Tiger games are in there, and we know which ones they are. Number
Vegas
11, Memphis at UNLV, and then number 15, Memphis at Boise State. We know how important those 2 games will be. Memphis wins both of them. They split them. You're feeling really good going into conference play. If you can handle business in conference, you'll be in a good position to make that conference championship and maybe make that college football playoffs.
Brian, that's such good news about the general air of good feeling about the Tigers going into this year for a lot of reasons. What Coach Huff has accomplished in 2 previous head coaching stops, the seriousness that the college football world, how they treat him, and a lot of work by a lot of people to get to this point. But I think I said it today the day after he was hired and we were talking about it. I think he enters day 1, game 1, year 1, the strongest the program has ever been in.
It definitely does.
I mean, there have been a lot of Tiger coaches
absolutely
going into game 1 and going, whew, we got a lot to do.
I think the biggest thing, and I think it's what you're saying as well, is that I'm not going to go into the season with the expectations of college football playoff or anything like that. It's a brand new coach, it's a brand new roster. But the fact that there's so much excitement about it, that these magazines are writing about how talented this team is, most coaches coming in year one, they don't have those type of expectations or those type of goals. Coach Huff coming in with that, I think a lot of confidence, a lot of excitement going into the season.
We didn't plan this, but my not top story is a college football story as well. DraftKings, they've released their Heisman Trophy odds. Tie for first, C.J. Carr plus 750, Arch Manning plus 750. In third, two-player tie, two quarterbacks, Julian Sayin, the Ohio State quarterback, and Dante Moore. And then stand alone at fifth, not far behind them. They are at plus 1,000. Then at plus 1,100, Trinidad Chambliss. For C.J. Carr, no Notre Dame quarterback to win the Heisman in 62 years. The last, John Hurett.
Wow.
Later, the original Memphis Grizzly, the quarterback of the Southman Grizzlies, John Hurett.
Holy cow.
He won it in 64.
Wow.
No Notre Dame no Notre Dame winner at all since 87.
Wow.
In Tim Brown.
Yeah.
But no quarterback since 1964. At Ole Miss, no Heisman Trophy winner ever. At Ohio State, Julian Sayin would be the first quarterback to win since Troy Smith won in 06. They had Les Horvath as a wing T quarterback in the 40s, really kind of a hybrid running back, wildcat, etc. When he won it, and Dante Moore, Oregon's won it with Marcus Mariota. And at Texas, nope, Vince Young still hadn't won a Heisman Trophy. No Texas quarterbacks ever won a Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I still haven't got my apology, have I?
No, you
have
not.
a Landon.
No, we're still waiting on that apology.
Direct shot.
Yeah.
Called me an idiot, too.
Yeah, sure did. And still waiting on it. But
Two Texas winners, both running backs. So, okay, I'm on Ricky Williams.
I don't think you're going to get that apology.
I don't either.
think the time has passed.
Hurt my feelings.
I understand. But let's get to a break. That'll do it for top and not top story of the day. When we return, we got to talk more about Game 1 last night of the NBA Finals. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Hello, I'm Ford Canale of Canale Funeral Directors. For more than a century, the Canale family has been honored to serve Memphis families during life's most difficult moments. In fact, Canale Funeral Directors is proud to be the oldest continually operating business in Memphis, built on a tradition of compassion, dignity, and personal service. When a family places their trust in us, we understand it's about much more than arrangements. It's about celebrating a life, honoring cherished memories, and providing comfort when it's needed most. Whether you're planning ahead or facing an immediate need, our experienced and caring staff is here to guide you every step of the way. From our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve generations of Memphis families with the respect and attention they deserve. Canale Funeral Directors, quietly caring since 1843.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents in the rapid stages. Busy now in certain sections of the Midtown area. I-40 here up by Chelsea. 55 on the bridge headed over into West Memphis towards Crittenden County is on the increase. So is that traffic volume south of Memphis right now. Be careful down through there with radar earlier on 55 pushing down into parts of DeSoto County. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car, truck, having transmission problems. Come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations to serve you right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Last night, the Knicks, they get the edge in the game 1, a 105-95 win over the Spurs in San Antonio, a back-and-forth game, a really weird game watching it play out with the Knicks getting, kind of back and forth early, then the Spurs getting the advantage. It looked like at times that San Antonio was going to run away with the game. They get about a 14, 15-point lead there in the third quarter, and then slowly but surely the Knicks start chipping away at that lead, and then really in the fourth quarter, they absolutely dominated and get the 10-point win. Now, they already had a lot of confidence coming in on this winning streak. That win streak extends now at least to game 2. They've got to have all the confidence in the world right now against the Spurs team.
And you could feel the electricity. It felt big last night. I loved in the pregame when they were rolling through the big moments, and we'll really get a lot more of that when we get to the Garden next week. But I was wrong yesterday. I said the series doesn't start till they get to the Garden. No, it started last night when you went on the road, and you said no, it'll start when somebody wins on the road, and you nailed it. But you could feel the bigness. Brian, where I like to go a lot of nights in TV view. I went to my buddy Rocky Casafetis last night over at Alex's Tavern, and there were a couple of tables of Knick fans in full gear there.
Oh, wow. That's great.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I mean, they were really excited.
That's awesome.
And some Spurs fans, but a great Wednesday night TV watching.
Yeah,
party.
No, really fun. And the Knicks are one of those brands that, really across the country you can run into them. And so cool to see that a couple of them got together to watch it last night. And,
in Memphis.
Yeah, and that's really cool. And obviously, it was a party up in New York during the game, before the game, certainly after the game. But definitely the Knicks got to be feeling good. A great game from Brunson. He had that moment early in the game where I think it was Harrison Barnes that got pushed and he fell into Brunson and he had to limp off the court, went back to the locker room to get checked out, able to come back in the second quarter. And I think a lot of people really worried of, okay, how much is this going to hurt him? How much is this going to hamper him the rest of the game? And it really didn't, especially that fourth quarter. Again, 13 points there, the way that he stepped up and had that 30-point game last night. He was as big as they needed him to be. And again, we talk about how everyone wants to go ahead and label him as the best Knick ever. Performances like this are what's going to get him to that level.
Sure will. Open up the history books. It's getting ready to be there for him. And I'm not gonna resist it. I'm not gonna reject it out of hand like I kind of have to this point. I know some will still say, well, Walt Frazier had 2. And I made the point a week or so ago about it. He's not in any of the top 10 categories, but they would not be doing it without him, and that's what makes him so special.
No, he's the leader. He's the engine. Where he goes, they go. And he was awesome last night. Karl-Anthony Towns was really good as well last night. 18 points for him. What he did defensively all night was really, really impressive, especially against Victor Wembanyama. I thought he did a really nice job against him. And Karl-Anthony Towns, we talked about, he's been really good this playoffs, and I thought a really nice start for him in the finals.
It was almost the Karl-Anthony Towns game, but Brunson's 30. And not a lot from 3 from Brunson. Had the late corner 3 after kind of some wild drives that Wemby was altering everything. They were thinking about him. It was always on their mind. Big high floaters, ball bounces around. They kick it in the corner. He drains it, and kind of named the final margin was from there. It was closer than the 10-point margin.
No, definitely. I mean, again, in the third quarter, the Spurs are up, 13, 14 points? I mean, a lot of people going ahead and riding it off as the Spurs are going to run away with game 1, and it looked like that at times. in that second half. But, the fourth quarter, what the Knicks did, just really impressive. Again, you look at that fourth quarter, and the Knicks shoot 40.9% from the field while holding the Spurs to 28.6% from the field. I mean, the Spurs just could not make anything late, really couldn't make a lot during the game. Just the shooting from the Spurs was pretty bad all night long, but certainly in crunch time when they needed a bucket, they weren't able to get it. And I think a lot of that, going back to the Spurs having to go 7 games against OKC, how much energy that took out of them. And on the other side, the Knicks just resting, getting some R&R going into the finals. We saw it in the last series where they were certainly the well-rested team late in that first game against Cleveland, and they looked like the well-rested team last night against the Spurs. Now, I don't think the Spurs are going to lay down like Cleveland laid down. I think we're still going to get a great series, but, just really impressive. The Knicks doing all that work early to now be able to put themselves in a position where they're maybe fresher and able to capitalize in the fourth quarter against the Spurs.
One of the Knicks fans I was visiting with last night where I was watching, just called it, said, we'll start kind of slow. We'll be somewhat of a deficit. Late fourth quarter will be all Knicks.
Yeah. And that's exactly
I
what
need
it was.
to find that guy's crystal ball.
Yeah, no kidding. That's exactly what it was. And so definitely impressive to watch. And we'll see if that carries over to game 2. I think the Spurs bounce back tomorrow night and are able to even this up and get the win. But, if they shoot the way they did last night, if Wemby is still pressing like he was last night, it could get dicey, and maybe you could see the Knicks pull off another win. But I would bet on the Spurs bouncing back and getting a win tomorrow night.
I would too, but how would you handle approach that? You don't want to write off anything because the advantage that with the unlikely upset what 2-0 would give you. Then it makes the 2 games just next week, never mind coming back for game 5 or game 6, it would have the place just on fever pitch edge of all time. How do you handle it if you're the Knicks coaching staff and even like the leadership? I don't think you would want too much of a house money mindset. No, let's don't write off anything. Let's compete.
Yeah. I think that's going to be their mindset. I think they have the guys in that locker room. I think going through what they did last year with this group and bringing them back this year, I think they're going to have the mindset of we cannot let off that gas at any point. We have got to continue to have foot on the floorboard, on the gas pedal, and keep trying to go. Because you're right. If you can go back to New York up 2-0, as hard as it's going to be, that completely changes the way everybody's looking at this series. So, you've got to keep that mindset. It's very easy to get very high after game 1. And, hey, maybe the fan in the front row jawing at Jalen Brunson, maybe that helped him because you could see as he was walking off the floor, even when he got back to the back, he was not happy. He was not celebrating. He was mad. Whatever was said to him did not make him happy. And so maybe he'll take
it
that.
Had that look of, I'm going to show y'all.
Exactly. And so, maybe he comes out and instead of maybe riding high after that game last night, maybe he comes out wanting to prove even more his point to the Spurs fans.
Bryant, this is the first time the Knicks have led in an NBA Finals series since they were up 3-2 in '94 over the Houston Rockets. And that was a Friday afternoon, June 17th, 1994. Earlier that day, Arnold Palmer played his last competitive round at the U.S. Open and said goodbye at Oakmont. Yeah. And on TV,
O.J. Simpson,
slow speed chase. And,
oh, boy.
And guess where I was?
Right here.
Right there.
Always.
Right there.
That's a wild day.
It was a wild day. George was on vacation. The late great Paul Hartley and I had it. And everything going on that day. And, Paul and I had talked that morning or something. Didn't text. We didn't have it.
Sure.
We talked about, where we're going to go. And, big golfer in U.S. Open. We didn't talk a whole lot about Arnold Palmer that day.
No, certainly not. A lot of other things going on last night in that day in the sports world.
The TV on different studios than this, but on 560. That's where I was, but different studios, and the TV was kind of in the other room and and had split screen of slow speed chase. And like Lower Manhattan getting ready for the game that night.
A little split screen action. So hopefully Hopefully this series doesn't bring anything like that, and we have to do split screen of anything
that
similar.
Day, every network, all the networks went to it, and ESPN had the split screen, kind of stayed with somewhat. No, ESPN had golf and that on, because that the Friday afternoon was on golf.
Interesting, yeah. Hopefully we don't have an incident like that.
No.
Hopefully it can just be all basketball.
It was a wild day.
That is
wild times.
That is very wild. I know we'll talk more about this obviously tomorrow leading into Game 2, but for the Spurs, what do they have to do tomorrow night in Game 2 to look a lot better and bounce back and get a win?
Start with Wembanyama as a post player, and then anything after that is just kind of dessert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we've seen it throughout
these
playoffs. Play
post first.
Sure, we've seen it throughout these playoffs. Victor Wembanyama, when he has those bad games, he really comes out in that next game and is fired up and usually plays a whole lot better the next game. So hopefully we see that, and hopefully we see some other guys step up and are able to knock down shots. I'll be curious to see what they do with Dylan Harper. 28 minutes last night, but was really, really good. 16 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist off the bench. So we'll see how they change things.
De'Aaron Fox was not bathed in glory last night.
No. It wasn't a very good game for him last night. We mentioned it, 3 for 13 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. A handful of turnovers as well. I don't think we're to the point where you need to bench him and start Dylan Harper quite yet. But you gotta have a better game from De'Aaron Fox. He's getting a lot of money. He's supposed to be that veteran presence out there, and especially late, he did not step up and have that kind of calming veteran presence out there on the court. So we'll talk more about this game and this series at 4 o'clock when Keith Smith joins us. But right now, we need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk some Major League Baseball.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's golf time. What's my first thought? Miramichi. Of course, Miramichi. Sometimes you need just to escape the hustle and bustle of life, and that's exactly what Miramichi will provide. It means the place of happy retreat, and I promise you, it lives up to its name. While it might not be in the heart of Shelby County, it's certainly worth the drive. It's 25 minutes from my driveway in East Memphis. Once you arrive at the front door, you know you're going to get an experience unlike any other public golf course in town. Let's start with practice facilities. Not all are created equal, and you will find none better than those at Miramichi. The range is an impressive 12-acre space. It allows you to spread out and practice for those long drives. They got a great short game place. They've got a chipping green. They've got a putting green. They're beyond compare. You want to get better? You go to Miramichi. You want a great competitive golf course? You go to Miramichi. It's worth the drive. I love it. Miramichi.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Incorporated, Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Cleanliness is next to impossible unless you call High-Low Commercial Services. For 15 years, High-Low's dedicated team has been cleaning offices throughout the Mid-South. High-Low's janitorial services are customized to your business. Clean once, quarterly, or ongoing, and get the JRD guarantee. We clean until you're satisfied. High-Low Commercial Services, the biggest and the best in the Mid-South. Visit MrCleanTeam.com. That's MrCleanTeam, MrCleanTeam.com for High-Low Commercial Services.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road. Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you've paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 total new vehicle retail sales report in Memphis market.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Major League Baseball already underway today. A couple of day games. Not as many as we usually see on Thursdays, but 3 games already final, 1 in progress right now. And some couple interesting scores today. The Phillies get a 6-4 win at home over the Padres. The Orioles all over the Red Sox, 8-2. 6 of those 8 runs for Baltimore in the top of the first inning. The Yankees with a 2-1 win over the Guardians. And the game going on right now, the Giants up 12-5 over the Brewers. 3 of their runs in the first inning to put them on top, and they really haven't turned back. Bats have been hot today for San Francisco.
Guess who's going to be in New York next week to be playing the Mets on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, while everything will be going on with the NBA Finals?
The Cardinals, right?
The St. Louis Cardinals. Right. Didn't name the player, but I saw a St. Louis dedicated a sports figure, a tweet that said a unnamed player reached out to his agent about the possibility of tickets for Wednesday night for the NBA Finals. And, they're not broke, baseball players. And when he got the price tag, said, we'll find a bar to watch it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Find a bar, the bar at the hotel that you're staying at, the clubhouse, the visiting clubhouse, roll a TV in there, whatever you got to do. I don't think you're going to Madison Square Garden.
But I read that, and I just tell that story. I see 6:10 Central Time start Tuesday night, 6:10 Wednesday. Who could go to the game on Wednesday night?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of the starting pitchers on his off night saying, "I'll just go to the NBA game instead of being in the dugout." I don't know who that would be.
12:10 on Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at all. Maybe they're planning for some rain in the forecast. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe we'll get delayed or something.
I don't know. I'd like my pitcher that even if he wasn't doing anything, being anywhere but on that team.
Definitely not. Definitely
with that
not.
Team.
So yeah, that is strange. But yeah, no matter how you shake it, it doesn't
pricing
look like
structure. Wow,
yeah,
it is something. It's not even real.
No, it's ridiculous. I mean, just seeing I love the as low as, because sometimes you'll see some as low as on ESPN. They always put that there on the side. Sometimes you'll see
$17.
Yeah, well, like I've seen some games. I don't want to name the team, even though it's the Grizzlies. Like last year when things were going bad, it was like $4. Like get it for $4. For game that would be game 4, $7,221 for just to get in.
I saw a view from in the 400 section of about that price range, and I don't really care where I sit. I would be fine in that,
sure,
but I wouldn't be fine paying that price for that.
No, definitely not. So yeah,
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't if I could.
Yeah,
but I can't do it. But I don't mind in the upper reaches. I don't.
I love sitting at FedEx Forum. I love sitting in the nosebleeds. I think it's the best seat in the Forum. It's unbelievable. I love that seat. But
do you really?
Oh, I love it.
It's a long way from the action.
If I'm picking a ticket, part of it, I'd say about 25% of it is the price, but
well, sure.
75 is like, I like sitting up there and getting kind of the bird's eye view of the court and seeing everything play out.
It's steep up there too.
No, it is.
I've sit up there and like, at halftime or go to the restroom or concession.
You gotta be careful.
Better hang on to the rail.
No, you definitely do. You definitely do. But yeah, no, I don't mind at all. People will like, when my buddies are going, they'll be like, hey man, like we're going to go, but I don't know where we're going to sit. We might sit in the nose. I'm like, dude, please. Like, I would prefer to sit up there. Less people up there. Usually, you can just kind of hang out. You don't have to be getting up and down to let people through. I love sitting up there. So yeah, I'd be completely fine.
But not for $7,000.
No, I'm not doing anything for $7,000. No, there's not many things on the planet I'll do for $7,000.
A down payment on a house.
No, yeah, I don't even know if I do that. Like that's way too much money. But it's funny because you've got tomorrow night's game, $741 to get in. Then it jumps all the way up for game 3, $7,200, $7,221. Going back to San Antonio, it is more expensive because it's game 5, $1,687. Then it jumps all the way back up to $7,981 for game 6, and then $2,851 for if there is a game 7 in San Antonio.
Stock market closed today up almost 900 points at around 51,500. I guess the hedge funders can afford it.
Yeah, I guess there's people up there in New York City. I guess they're doing well. They can afford that, but tell them to send some of it down here. I mean, whatever well they're drinking out of to get all that money.
I can't really listen to them be able to do this. And I know not a very small group can do that, but then complain about the how expensive the toll roads are or the subways are.
Yeah, maybe save some of that money that you're spending on those tickets, and then you won't have to complain so much about all the other stuff. But it is expensive. But hey, people will be there and it'll be rocking at MSG. No question about it.
I want to find out who the Cardinal player was. I don't like the idea of that.
Yeah, that's interesting, especially if it is weird.
I'm trying to find the tweet now, and it might have said buying it for a family.
Maybe that would make more sense.
Okay.
But yeah, that's weird because I just thought when you brought it up at first that okay, well maybe a Wednesday, maybe they've got a noon game, you get the game done with, and then we go down to MSG for the night game. But if it's a night game against the Mets, then that would make it very difficult to go to a NBA playoff game.
The Cardinals need 2 out of 3 in New York, 2 out of 3 in Minnesota next week after this coming up this weekend in St. Louis against Cincinnati, because another 2-run win last night. They're narrow.
No, they're real narrow. It was nice to see a win last night, and getting the 11 hits, 5 runs, certainly better than what they had done the night before, and really in a lot of games recently. So, hopefully those bats can start waking up. But right now, really, really sleepy offense for the Cardinals, but was nice to see a win nonetheless. But let's go ahead, wrap up this first hour, get to a break. When we return, we're talking more NBA. Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show, he joins us next.
Do you want a greener, more weed-free lawn? And if you're like me, you can't stand the sight of dandelions, clover, or especially crabgrass. Hi, I'm Brandon Hawley, president of Lawn Solutions. We are your locally owned and operated weed control and fertilization company. We are also experts in disease and insect control on your lawn and landscape. Our uniformed technicians are full-time, year-round licensed and certified by the state of Tennessee. Lawn Solutions' personalized service is far more superior to that of national companies that promise but simply cannot deliver. We return phone calls, we keep appointments, and we want your business. What we will not do is bother you with endless phone calls or junk mail. Lawn Solutions will not sell you something your lawn doesn't need. If you're looking for a local lawn care company to kill your weeds and feed your grass, then Lawn Solutions is the finest. Call us at 867-5626. That's 867-5626. Or go online at lawnsolutionsinc.net. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for your business.
You know that feeling when something is supposed to be complicated and then it's not? That's the Dobbs Brothers way. For your new Chevrolet, there's no games, no runaround, no surprises. Just straight answers from people who actually mean them. Buying a car shouldn't feel like a battle. And at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it doesn't. Trust, transparency, and driving our community forward. That's the Dobbs Brothers way. Shop Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett today.
Not only are Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar the best places in town for breakfast or lunch, they're also two of the best places to get a cup of joe in Memphis. Sunrise has all the standard coffee choices with latte, espresso, cappuccino, Americano, and Wiseacre cold brew. But Sunrise brings something to the table that other coffee shops just don't offer. At either Sunrise location, you can get those coffee selections with something special. Hooch! At Sunrise, you can get the usual shots, but you can also get Kahlua or Irish cream. Tell that to your barista.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents getting some attention. Here's what we're seeing. Heavier traffic develop now out of Midtown on 240 South at South Parkway all the way down past Norris. The further south you go at Memphis, we've had some radar down through there a little bit earlier. Now it's starting to build pretty good on 240 here at Mount Moriah, getting onto 385 Billmore Parkway, pushing out towards Collierville. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck having transmission issues. Let them check it out at Amco Transmissions. 2 locations here in Memphis. Tell them I sent you. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers, Ford, and Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Thursday afternoon. We got to talk more NBA, and joining us now to do that, it's Keith Smith.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Smith joins us now to talk some NBA. And Keith, so much to get to. I certainly want to talk about what happened in the Western Conference Finals with the Spurs eliminating OKC, but I think we got to start with what happened last night in Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Knicks on the road get a 10-point win. They were trailing by double digits about midway through the third quarter. They're able to storm back. Jalen Brunson was fantastic. What did you make of what you saw last night in Game 1?
Yeah, this is the Knicks, right? They never feel like they're out of a game. They that huge comeback against Cleveland in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. A lot of their other games, they've been blowing teams out. They came back a couple times against the Hawks as well in the first round, and there was a moment where it looked like, all right, the Spurs are going to hold serve here, at least in Game 1, but then the Knicks, they just do what they do, and if you can get it to a place where you got the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands late in the fourth quarter to either hold the team off or finish off a game, you're going to feel pretty good, I think, about your chances to win that one, because he right up there with the NBA's preeminent closers.
Keith, I know we're all there now, but when did you first get there with the Knicks can win it all this year?
It was a while ago. They were actually my preseason pick to go to the NBA Finals. And I long held belief of if you're in the finals, you have a chance to win. I don't care who you're playing, much like last year when everybody's like Pacers are going to get their doors blown off by the Thunder. I just think when you're there, you have a chance. And that's why, why we play the games and all that. So I really feel, like the Knicks have a chance here. And I picked them to win in 7, before the series started. So, but it really firmed up probably when they took care of business against the Sixers with relative ease in the second round. I was like, all right, they're here now, and they're not messing around. When they get you down, they're going to keep you down. They're going to put their foot on your throat, and they're going to finish you off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no question about it. And, last night I mentioned Jalen Brunson, 30 points for them. We've heard all the talk from New York Knicks fans of Jalen Brunson, greatest Knick of all time. Man, if he has more performances like that, he will certainly be more in that conversation. But you look around, it was a little bit of everybody last night for this Knicks team. We know well-rested from the last series. Who were you the most impressed with last night from the Knicks?
Yeah, I thought Karl-Anthony Towns played really, really well. I thought his defense against Victor Wembanyama was maybe the biggest surprise we saw in that. After all of the debate of who's going to guard Wembanyama, myself included, we talked about it for a few days of who are the Knicks going to put on him, and it's probably going to be OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges, and they'll double team and try to do what they can to get the ball out of his hands. All of a sudden, here it is, and it ends up being Karl-Anthony Towns out of the gate, and he held up and did really, really well against Wembanyama as far as making him work. So, absolutely one of the big stars. And Landry Shamet made a bunch of shots off the bench as well. He's just played fantastic also.
Yeah, he had some defensive woes, but he did play well offensively. The big fix for San Antonio going into Game 2, or is it just a couple of tweaks for them?
Yeah, I think they got to get Wemby the ball in better positions, and I think he needs to be more intentional about the way he does things. I'm not saying he wasn't trying, because that's going way too far, but there were times when he was just kind of out there, and it was like, no, man, you have to be the guy when you're on the floor. And I think, what we saw at moments in that game was you kind of knew he was there on the defensive end, but offensively he was just kind of doing his thing a little bit, but not so much. So what I'm excited to see is, can they get him the ball in the mid-post area where he can go to work? If he is going to get it outside, can they really spread and space the floor and make it so that he could take Karl-Anthony Towns off the dribble, force the Knicks to change that matchup and go a different way? That's going to be what I'm looking for on that end.
Yeah. Talking more about the Spurs, there's been a lot of talk today about, especially in that fourth quarter, Dylan Harper coming off the bench, had a nice game, but instead they go with the older De'Aaron Fox in the fourth quarter, and some people saying that was the wrong decision. You should have thrown Harper out there. What do you make of that kind of conversation between this veteran and De'Aaron Fox coming off of an injury from last series, and Dylan Harper also had to deal with an injury last series, but him, this young guy, rookie, hadn't really had a super defined role all season, but in the playoffs has been pretty reliable.
Yeah, right. We all have the answers after the game. We all know what should have been done. And my thing is, we have seen this Spurs team in the games where they haven't had De'Aaron Fox or the games where he's been limited. Things can get pretty sideways for them offensively without him on the floor. So I think having him in a place is really, really having him out there is really important, because he's the one who settles them down. When everything kind of gets sideways, he's the one who's usually the guy who's like, all right, everybody, calm down. We got this. We're going to go. That said, yeah, Dylan Harper was playing great, and I think one of the things that they're going to have to do at times, and I think they can get away with it, because it's not like the Knicks play these overly big lineups, is go with all three guys out there. Have Fox, Harper, and Castle out there a lot more, and just kind of see what that looks like. And it's going to have to be more. Mitch Johnson's probably going to have to coach it by feel, and see where it goes and kind of go there. But after one game, I'm not going to jump too much on him for trusting the veteran to be on the floor.
definitely not. Obviously, one of the storylines going into the series was Mitchell Robinson and this pinky injury. Only had 13 minutes played last night, 2 points, 6 rebounds for him. How did you think he looked out there, and how do you think he'll be used as he deals with this injury?
Yeah, I thought he looked okay, and I think we can now safely say it's a hand. Like, it's not his pinky. He broke his hand, and however he did it, and they're not going to tell us that story. It doesn't sound like anytime soon. So we're there with for him. The big thing is, can he catch the ball? Right? A lot of people are like, who cares? He doesn't do anything off the dribble. He's not a shooter, and that's all true. But he needs to be able to catch the ball, whether that's rebounding or off passes, off lobs. Because if you fumble it at all, Wembanyama is just going to be on top of you, and if not him, Luke Cornett's going to be on top of you. So I thought he looked okay. I think there's going to be moments in this series because, let's just say, don't trust Karl-Anthony Towns to play every game without getting himself in foul trouble. I thought he did a really nice job about that last time, but later game one, I don't know that we're going to see that every time forward. So I think we'll see, kind of how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be a series where we're going to keep an eye on Mitchell Robinson and if he can have an impact when the Knicks need him to.
Keith, last hour, Bryant and I were talking about tomorrow night for New York to not too much relax on that house money, that you got the one you really wanted. Don't let up. I wouldn't have a big minutes played toll if you're behind, but it's a chance if they go up the unthinkable 2-0, then party could be on next week in New York. You got to go for it tomorrow night instead of relaxing and being content, don't you?
Yeah, 100%. You have a few days off in between games, or a couple days, because you get the extra day for the travel in between games. So there's no reason not to push it a little. Yeah, you don't need to go into it with, all right, we're going to play everybody, 45 minutes, and that's just it. But yeah, if you need, all right, we got to ask a couple extra minutes of a few guys, yeah, absolutely, you should do that. So I think we're in a position here where it really is a place where it is, let's get after it. Let's try to get, this 2-0 series lead. And I think a big part of what's been special for the Knicks in this playoff run has been their ability to they don't let up. I mean, they're on this historic run now of, games won in a row and by a pretty large margin of victory. So I think we're in a place where, you just got to kind of let him do his thing and just get after it.
And Keith, I may very well have missed it, Bryant. You may have seen something I just haven't. Has anybody had on as analyst or even interviewed Jay Wright and his thoughts about all these Villanova guys doing it at this level?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. No, I mean, part of that is I think he's under contract with one of the TV networks. I don't know which one it is, but that may be an issue as far as doing that. I think that thankfully we have seen it maybe get a little better with those things where they'll share talent some. But yeah, I think I am kind of curious. It's one of those things where it does feel like it's maybe getting a little overblown, with that, because it's three guys. It's three guys out of an 18-man roster. It's, because they've moved on from DiVincenzo. But yeah, I mean, it is still a pretty cool story, and it would be cool for those guys to have won one together in college and then get one at the NBA level. And maybe they're waiting to bring Jay Wright out a little bit later when that's more of a possibility.
Yeah, get Jay Wright out there on the championship parade if the Knicks win it, of kind of starting that building block with those guys. Obviously talking a lot about the NBA Finals after Game 1 last night, but over the weekend we had Game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. The Spurs eliminate OKC. What did you make of that series as a whole and how Game 7 played out?
Yeah, I mean, disappointing for Chet Holmgren to kind of no-show it. Like, they needed him to be there. They needed him to play well, and he just didn't. All that said, I think people are, they're doing what they do and going into these, huge ideas of like, well, now you got to trade Holmgren and trade Jalen Williams and all this stuff, as if this team wasn't, they're less than a year from winning the title, and they weren't in a Game 7 without Jalen Williams and A.J. Mitchell. I've already talked to people with the Thunder, and they believe, hey, if we had Williams or Mitchell, we win Game 7. And we're playing in the finals today. So I don't think they're going to overreact to anything as far as moving out their main guys. I think they're just going to do what they do and and get right back after it again next year. I think it's too much to assume they have to change out everybody because we're just not there yet.
No, definitely not. Well, what moves do you expect them to make this offseason? Do they need to make moves ahead of next season for money reasons? I'm just not super familiar with where they're at with the different salaries and stuff. What do you expect this offseason from the Thunder?
Yeah, for sure. They're if they just ran it back, which they certainly could do, they're really, really expensive. So I think they're going to be in a place where what we see them do is just kind of tweak the roster. I think there's a good chance Lou Dort maybe is gone, and maybe one of Aaron Wiggins or Isaiah Joe. They have 2 first-round picks again because, of course, they do. And they've got to figure out how they're going to fit those guys into the roster. So I think there's definitely a lot of work where it's going to be, all right, we got to kind of move some things around, but I don't think it's going to be any one of SGA, Chet, Holmgren, any of that, the bigger guys there. I think they've planned for this. They've had it planned out for how they're going to do this. But I do think there will be some roster changes made. Probably the idea will be, hey, let's bring in a little more shooting, and let's bring in one more on-ball playmaker so we don't get stuck in the spot again. And I think they would like a little more front court depth, too, because by the end of the season, it was kind of hard to sign Holmgren, and that was it. There wasn't a whole lot else left.
Keith, a little bit like the question I asked you about when it hits you the Knicks could win it all. It was Saturday night when it hit me that Oklahoma City's not going to repeat, and I'm still kind of stunned by it. Are you?
Yeah, to an extent, but I mean, I think the Spurs had shown us, that they were there, right? Like they were really, already kind of, on their way, and I think that is where I feel like it is, in a place where it's, I don't want to undersell the Spurs. I think, myself included, we're like, all right, are they going to have to do the stereotypical path of taking their lumps and all that? And I think where we're at is with the Spurs is they were so good, and for the Thunder, it just proves it's really, really hard to repeat. I mean, we're 9 years now into no repeat champs. Like this is unprecedented territory in the NBA, and I think this is just kind of the new world where there's a lot of good teams, and it's really hard to win back to back.
Is that good for the league for it to be shared like this?
Yeah, I think so. I think as long as some of these teams have the kind of holdover connectedness to, all right, they're there, we can kind of rely on them. It's like they always say, you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and that's where like the Warriors were. Warriors were like everybody loved them when they were on the come up, and then when they got there, it was like, get these guys out of here. Somebody's got to beat them, and you're either rooting for them or rooting against them. And I think now we're in a place where what we want to see kind of happening here with the NBA is there are some teams like the Thunder, like the Spurs. They're kind of there every year, but I think it's perfectly fine if everybody kind of goes in with like, hey, why not us? Why can't we have a chance? The Spurs are one of the smallest markets in the league. So are the Thunder. They're 2 of the best teams in the league, and we can go. Then on the flip side, you have the Knicks in the biggest market in the world, and it's like, hey, here they are, and they're getting it done too. So I think it's good to have all kinds of comers.
Going back to the Thunder and kind of this offseason, you talk about the first-round picks for them, and you talk about that front court. 2-part question here. The first one, Thomas Sorber, their first-round pick. Last year, he sat all year with an injury. What type of role do you see him playing with this team next year? And then who's the type of guy that you could see OKC going after with that 12th pick?
Yeah, we'll see with Sorber. I think there are, we're going to see, first, get him healthy. Let's get him on the floor, and let's see, what it looks like when he is out there. And I think that's, going to be interesting. I think that's one of the things the Thunder have kind of done well is draft and develop, even with these guys, that have taken a little bit to get there. And then as far as the draft goes, they're in range to add, if they want to, if he doesn't go off the board early, you could get like an Adey Mara in there. If he goes earlier than that, because there's a lot of buzz, he could go as high as 8 to a team like Atlanta, then that means probably one of the guards is going to drop. Someone like Mikel Brown Jr., maybe Braden Burry, Kingston Fleming. If that happens, then you're in a really good place so you could grab one of those guys. Or even Braden Burry is someone you could get after there. So that's interesting. And then, there is something he said, do you go with more of a prospect that's going to need time because you don't need someone to step in right away? Could that be like Koa Pete or Karim Lopez? Like, those are guys that could really be, big time prospect kind of guys that they could try to develop up there, because those guys are seen as, they're going to take a year or two before they're ready to contribute. So they're going to come away with, somebody good because they do all the time. That's what they do. I do think they're only going to make one of those two picks. I think they'll trade the other one, kind of kick the can down the line, pick up some other, other assets and kind of go that direction. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun watching them kind of go out there and put this together.
Keith, we're very optimistic that the Grizzlies will get better out of this draft, but here is the kind of the sobering news. I'm looking at a mock draft site right now, and Braden Burry's going 9th to the Mavericks, 11th to Golden State, Nate Ament, 12th to Oklahoma City, Yaxel Lindenborg. Other teams are going to get better, too, in the West.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the West has been like this self-sustaining machine, because what's happened is they've been so many good teams that aren't really truly bad teams, but they just can't make the playoffs. They get pushed down into the lottery, and then they end up adding more talent, and then we kind of just do the whole cycle all over again. And that's been that way, for a while in the Western Conference, and that's something where hopefully maybe the new lottery reform balances that out a little bit, where you're not going to be seeing teams full on tanking to the bottom and all the like. There's going to, I believe it's going to take us 2 full years of transaction cycles to really understand what that looks like, starting with, this summer with the draft, free agency, and then the trade deadline, and then the same thing next year when the real rules are in place. But it's going to be really interesting to watch all this come together here over the next couple of years, and how teams value draft picks and trades and the like. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams that are going to get tough. I think for the Grizzlies, it's about patience now. It's about, hey, we may not be right back in the playoff picture, but we're building something here around this young core.
Yeah, no doubt about it. While we're talking a lot about the NBA Finals and the draft, there's still some teams out there with head coach openings. The Mavericks, that's the most recent team to have a head coach opening. Where do you think they go from this? You've seen some rumors about maybe kind of going off the wall with a college coach, but obviously a lot of really good options out there from the NBA ranks with assistants and other options. Where do you think the Mavericks go with this hire?
It seems like Dallas might be in this kind of, like I just said with Memphis, where this isn't going to be a quick flip. I think a lot of people just assume, all right, well, you got Cooper Flagg, and he's already proven to be really good, and now you've got Kyrie Irving coming back, so we should be a playoff team next season. Well, the playoffs, cracking that group is hard, right? It's hard in both conferences, but it's really hard in the West because some of the bad teams are going to be a lot better next year. It seems like Utah is going to be a lot better. So I think you've got to kind of take maybe a little bit of a longer range approach, and that may mean they are a little more content to go with more of a first-time head coach and less of, all right, we got to get in, guy who's been there, done that, and can lead us. I think we may see Dallas kind of go in a slightly different direction, where it is first-time head coach who can grow with Cooper Flagg and whatever the Mavs are building up around him.
Yeah, no, I think that is definitely a good idea there. All right, well, before we let you go, do the Spurs turn it around and win game 2?
Yeah, I think so. What we've seen out of the Spurs is every time they don't look so great, and especially when Wembanyama doesn't look so great, they come back and they're awesome the next time out. And I think they're going to win. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I might be wish-casting a little because I want it to be.
It's okay.
I want every game we can get. But yeah, I think it's going to be a long 7-game series, and I think it's far from over. So yeah, I think Spurs are going to get this done in game 2.
Yeah, should be a lot of fun. Keith, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. We'll do it again next Thursday.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you so much, Keith Smith, with us every week for Spot Track and the Front Office Show, talking all things NBA, and kind enough to be with us year-around. Thank you so much to him. He was on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, the official jeweler of the hometown NBA team, the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge, also a fabric of the community, and they know their place in the community, and they love reaching out and being part of it, like being a sponsor for the hometown University of Memphis Tigers. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces of special moments, in your life. A lot of people getting married this summer. Also a lot of anniversaries, because this is the time of year everybody had a lot of anniversaries. They got married at this time. So keep that in mind this summer for anniversary gifts, and for Dad coming up, that 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood at Poplar and Perkins with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. Sisters, they offer a selection of diamonds and estate jewelry and fine gifts. And again, the official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the Floor Seat Lounge, where we will be back sooner than you can imagine. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Well, let's get to another break. When we return, we'll stick with the NBA. We'll dive deep into the draft. Nathan Grubel from No Ceilings, also on social media at Draft Deeper. He joins us next. Talk some of these prospects and what he expects in the draft here in a couple of weeks. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Listen up, Rebel fans. Your next winning drive starts at Landers Ford in Collierville. Their game plan is simple. Find you the most savings possible. Make a trade, lower your payments, or let them buy your vehicle even if you don't buy from them. That's how you keep moving the chains. Just like the Grove on game day. Fans all across the Mid-South keep coming back to the #1 Ford dealership in Greater Memphis. See them today in Collierville or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. When you own a Landers Ford, you get the support of a certified service tech with the Landers Ford Remote Service Experience Program. They pick it up, drop it off, or fix it on the spot, so you're never left watching from the sidelines. To finish the drive, the iconic Landers Easy Pass always brings more for your trade and the biggest discounts to put you in victory formation. And now, straight from the 1977 Ole Miss football team that took down #1 ranked Notre Dame, the final snap of the day from Landers Ford President Don Kitchens.
If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Ford's 2024 Total New Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market. Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. I'm looking at a crash over here on 240 westbound near Airways. Got traffic clogged up pretty good. It's starting to build over here anyway on this side of town, especially in the eastbound lanes. But the crash is over in the westbound lanes on 240 at Airways as that traffic builds a little bit more so here in the last few minutes trying to sneak out of Midtown on 240 southbound at South Parkway. Don't let a slipping transmission make things worse in your car or truck. If you're having transmission issues, let them check it out at Amco Transmissions. 2 locations right here in Memphis. Tell them I sent you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back in Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you as we got to talk some more NBA, focus more on the NBA draft. And joining us again, he joined us last week, nice enough to join us again this week. It's Nathan Grubel. He covers the NBA draft. Go follow him on Twitter, X at Draft Deeper. You can find a lot of his work over with the No Ceilings crew. Nathan, thanks so much for joining us again. Before we get into the draft itself, how'd you enjoy Game 1 of the NBA Finals last night?
Boy, that was just an awesome environment to be able to see and watch. Obviously, the game itself was incredible, but to see San Antonio alive in that way with all of those Spurs fans, loud as can be. You even had some Knicks fans in there who let their cheers be known when the Knicks obviously went on and pulled away and completed that Game 1 quote-unquote upset against the Spurs. Obviously, the basketball was good, but that environment, the fans, everything about it, the pageantry, the scene, was probably my favorite part about Game 1 last night.
And once again, we have to be reminded, and I did it early in Western Conference Finals, that the West was deciding the champion, and I even said that the East was the JV. It's not, and we're right here with a team from the East up 1-0.
Absolutely. I mean, when you try and throw those terms out there, a lot of people think about, the Western Conference has all of the biggest names in terms of the All-Stars, and the East might not have some of the same names in terms of cachet and box office, but there's been some good teams out East all season, large part the New York Knicks, who find themselves up 1-0 in the finals. They were a popular preseason pick to go to the finals. They were my preseason pick out of the East to go to the finals. I had OKC on the other side of the bracket. They obviously lost, but the Eastern Conference shouldn't be looked at as, this conference that can't produce an NBA champion. I think the gaps between them and the West are a lot closer than people think. It's just one has cachet, the others has, some deeper teams that rely more on depth and endurance and strength and physicality and just toughing out the other guy.
Mm-hmm. If the Knicks go on and win it, they will be the 6th Eastern team in the 21st century to win it, and would make it 7-6 West. That's anything but domination. And when you're at 7-6,
yeah, no, it
absolutely
it definitely is. Nathan, you mentioned the Thunder a second ago. Obviously, a lot of people thought that they would be in the NBA Finals, and I've seen some of the reaction from their fan base, and it feels like they feel like the sky is falling after losing in the Western Conference Finals. But the good thing for them is they've got a couple first-round picks in the NBA draft coming up in a couple of weeks. That number 12 spot, what do you expect? What do you think that the Thunder could do at that spot, and what do you think they could do a couple picks later there at 17?
There's a number of different ways that the OKC Thunder could go, and I could sit here and try to prognosticate what I think is going to happen. But ultimately, OKC does a great job every single year leading up to the draft of keeping everyone's mouth shut and not letting anything leak out of the building in terms of what direction they're going to go. If Sam Presti has had any kind of playbook in terms of what we've seen with when they've had lottery picks in the past or even multiple lottery picks in the past, that first selection generally tends to be a freshman-aged player, someone who is younger, who has a developmental runway and can grow within that OKC Thunder system within a few years.
I don't know if that player is going to be there for them at 12 in terms of what I think they really need to continue competing in the Western Conference. One of the more popular scenarios at 12 that's been put out there is, well, what if they take 12 and 17, they package a few picks and go up to try to get, the center out of Michigan to Daimara? And my response to that was, I'm not quite sure that solves their problem that they're trying to figure out here in terms of Victor Wembanyama. I'm not sure there is an answer for Victor Wembanyama on the face of the earth, to be entirely honest with you. I think you're more so trying to throw a few different bodies out there and trying to schematically throw him off of his game and hope he just misses some shots like he did against the Knicks in game one of the finals. But if I'm trying to go out there and find who I think could be some part of the solution to go up against him in the West, I would look at Daimara's teammate, Merez Johnson Jr., out of Michigan, the combo forward/big man, incredible athlete, very strong lower base, strong core, moves his feet really well, can switch all over the floor, but someone who can match up strength-wise with Wembanyama, can certainly knock him off balance a bit, would not be a big man who would be prone to letting Wembanyama get past him off the dribble, could keep him in front of him and really make his life difficult and stonewall him a little bit. That would be the type of guy who I would look at to try and defend, Wembanyama and some of the other talented front court players out there. Someone who may not be 7 foot plus, but who is the type of athletic who can jump and match anyone vertically. Again, he has that strong base to keep hold and keep guys in front of him. And when you do have to put him out on an island or have him cover some space, he can go out and switch on to different perimeter matchups, and none of those guards are going to burn him. He loved doing that at Michigan. Whenever he got the chance to switch out on a guard or a perimeter player, he relished the opportunity and he took advantage of it. So that's the type of guy that I would target if I was OKC.
It sounds like you're warning against maybe teams chasing their tail a little bit in the Wembanyama fascination in this era we've now entered into of don't make a lot of mistakes doing that. Stay true to your identity as your franchise and just get a good player instead of trying to stop him, because I saw it with people trying to do that with Kareem and often would miss because nobody was stopping him.
1,000%. I'm gonna give a little credit to Jason Tipp over at Hoops Tonight in the Volume, and he had a great quote that I was listening to one of his podcasts a few weeks ago about if you're trying to win an NBA championship, you really have to be able to play and win against 4 different styles of basketball. Every single team operates differently, so you can try and build your team around one specific matchup, but then what happens if the way that you constructed that team is entirely susceptible to somebody else's game plan and what they're trying to go up against you with? So if I'm building out a championship roster, I'm trying to have multiple answers up and down the lineup. Obviously, there's some core philosophies that you need to stick to in terms of key principles around what your guys do best, but you're also trying to have multiple different answers to a bunch of different problems on the test, not just trying to, maybe skate your way through the multiple choice section of the test and in hopes that you're going to nail that essay, when in reality, that's only a portion of the test. That's not the entire part of the grade.
Nathan, you mentioned Oklahoma City likes to draft in that freshman class range. Is it freshman? Is it that and age? I wonder who, with first-round picks, have drafted the youngest in age.
Yeah. I mean, there could be there could be several options in that, after the top 4, there could be several options in that, 5 to 10 range where we're talking about guys like, Darius Acuff and Keaton Wadler and Michael Brown Jr., some of these younger guards who play a little bit faster pace. They have room to continue to grow and develop, but they're really good with the ball in their hands. They have, deep shooting range on their 3 ball. They can score from multiple levels. Those are the types of young guys that you'd find in that portion of the draft. And, OKC has a ton of guards on their roster in particular, but then again, they seem to be the one team that isn't guard averse, and they're more than willing to continue to take some of these perimeter backcourt players, like when they traded for Jared McCain at the trade deadline. They're not shying away from having multiple guys who can handle the ball and offer them different outs depending, no matter who the ball is kicked around to when the offense breaks down. So, looking at that OKC model and that game plan, if I was some of these other teams in the lottery, I wouldn't shy away from taking a look at some of these guards, and it may not be the the quote-unquote answer that everyone's thinking about at the top of their minds being these playoffs and the finals when we're talking about size and strength and front court versatility. There's some guys you can look for in that range, but I wouldn't shy away from some of the guards who offer some of those longer runways in terms of their youth and what they can bring from an upside standpoint.
How much does 24 years of age hurt Yaxel Lindenborg? That's 2 years older than Victor Wembanyama.
It's clearly hurting him because you're not seeing him mocked anywhere near where I and some other people have him on their big board. I have Yaxel Lindenborg as the 5th best pure talent in this entire draft. And again, that's not me saying that on a mock draft I'm putting them at 5th to the LA Clippers. What it is saying is that if the age wasn't the same factor to other people as it appears to be, I think when you're just matching up skill for skill, his dribble, pass, shoot, defend skill set at 6'9" with a 7'3" wingspan is pretty appealing in terms of winning these high leverage games that we continue to see outside of any position that's the non-star, the non-ball dominant star. I think the next most important thing on the court is having one of these four men who doesn't leave anything off the table offensively. He can dribble, pass, shoot, and he can cover ground and defend multiple positions. Anyone who's lining up behind the three-point line nowadays, you have to be able to handle the ball. You have to be able to put the ball on the floor and make some live dribble decisions and also be able to pull up and shoot. If you're not that dynamic of a threat at that power forward position, you're leaving your team in a position where you're potentially playing 4-on-5 on offense. And, you know, nowadays, especially with how the modern game has evolved, you can't really be in that spot anymore if you want to win a championship.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I know last week we talked a lot about Cameron Boozer with you. Obviously, a lot of people predicting the Grizzlies will take him at number 3, but we didn't talk as much about the other couple of guys at the top of this draft. So can you break down both A.J. DeBonza and Darren Peterson for us? Those two guys, pretty much everybody thinks will go 1 and 2 in this draft.
I would throw my hat in that ring and say I'm projecting the same thing. A.J. DeBonza, measured close enough to 6'10" in shoes at the combine, great wingspan, awesome athleticism at that jumbo wing initiator position, can really handle the ball, can play in pick and roll, can operate out of the mid-range, can take guys into the mid-post area, post up some mismatches, score over them in one-on-one, can find guys if they bring the double over. Loves attacking, getting downhill, drawing contact to get to the free throw line. He has some questions about more of the ancillary parts to his game as far as, keeping the ball away from too many turnovers in traffic and being able to knock down catch and shoot threes. And what does his defense look like if he has to guard up and down the lineup? Is he going to be good enough an off-the-ball defender to be able to justify being in a defensive position like that at the 4 spot, or is he primarily a 3-2 who is much better on the perimeter? You're putting him in one-on-one situations. Is he able to play and pick and roll defensively? All those kinds of things. But if you're projecting a star forward just in terms of what you're getting out of A.J. DeBonza, he's what a quote-unquote box office star looks like. This big jumbo playmaker who can score over anyone and can really get to the line, draw fouls, and manufacture offense in that way. And then Darren Peterson, 6'4.5" without shoes, close enough to 6'6" in shoes, got good length, really is one of the best shooting prospects and scoring prospects that we have, not only in this draft, but in several drafts over the last recent years. He is a dynamic shooting threat. Even when you knock him off balance, even when you force him to take a shot you don't want that you want him to, and that he doesn't want to, he'll still knock it in. He is a tough shot maker. I have some questions about how he handles himself in terms of primarily operating more on the ball, creating for others, playing out of pick and roll to pass and not just to score. I have some off-ball defensive questions with him as well, but I think Darren Peterson in particular would be a great choice for Utah at the number 2 pick, because if I'm talking about a guy who I have some questions about him, how he handles the ball and operates on the ball, Utah is not a very ball screen heavy offense. They ran the 3rd fewest pick and roll possessions last season per synergy. Coach Woolhardy finds ways to get guys the ball and put them in advantages where they are primarily catch and shoot or make quick decisions once they catch the ball. So I think that'd be a great fit for him. I think AJ would do well in Washington. I can talk like I did last week about how I have Cameron Boozer at the top of my board, but sometimes these things work out well for a reason. Sometimes guys just go where they're supposed to go.
a lot of Arkansas fans in our listening audience. How early is too early for Malik Thomas?
Oh, that's a great question. I think a lot of mocks have had him, that late first round range, maybe even early second round territory. But, I kind of look around at where that late first round is sitting, and you look at another one of these guys who is still young, certainly young compared to a lot of the other seniors that you're projecting in that range. He'll be 20 during his NBA rookie season, but he's another one of these guys who's young in terms of experience on the ball. Didn't really have a lot of on-ball reps at Arkansas this year. Darius Acuff was the primary and lead playmaker for that team, and rightfully so. He did an awesome job at it, but Malik's an awesome shooter. He's able to get his shot off in a variety of different ways, off the catch, off the dribble, off movement, and that's going to be a key skill for him in terms of shooting that three ball. That's going to be able to get him on an NBA floor to help develop and round out the rest of those skills. And Malik is good size, good length for someone who you would project to be more of a quote-unquote point guard or in a combo guard position. And if more of those things come together for Malik, if he's able to adequately score from all three levels, if he does become a better passer in those pick-and-roll situations and some of those secondary creation opportunities, and he's able to hold his own defensively in the backcourt, you're probably talking about a guy who should go inside the top 20 and not someone who should go closer to the second round. So I don't think it's out of the question that maybe a team like the Toronto Raptors, they're looking around at some of the other guards available and they talk themselves into, well, wait a second, Malik, maybe we didn't expect him to be in this draft, but all of a sudden he is, and maybe he has more upside than some of these other older guards or other, senior level players that we're looking at. Maybe we should bring in someone like Malik Thomas.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. Last thing for you, Nathan. Jaden Quaintance, the big man out of Kentucky, didn't see him really at all last year for the Wildcats, but the season before, his freshman season at Arizona State, some concern about that leg. What do you make of him as a prospect, and how much concern do you have about those injuries?
I think the injuries are definitely a concern, and I'm not going to have full information on the medicals. Being someone in my position, I will at some point certainly acquire some intel about where I believe that stands, but it's not going to be anything I know right away and I'm able to share now. But, without knowing that information, it makes it hard for someone like me to project where I should have him, on a board and in a mock draft, because why would a team want to draft someone very, very high who has legitimate questions at the center position with both of their knees and suffering multiple lower body injuries? That doesn't seem to be a recipe for success if I'm projecting that out. What I would say is, because of his overall talent, because of what he was able to show when he was healthy at Arizona State and in lower levels in high school, I think he is someone who you could see a team with multiple first-round picks take a swing on. We did talk about OKC with 12 and 17. We can talk about Chicago, who has not only the 4th pick, but the 15th pick. We can talk about Charlotte, who has the 14th and the 18th picks. I think it would be, and obviously Memphis with the 3rd and the 16th picks. I think it would be a team like that who has multiple bites at the apple. They have a high enough lottery pick to where they're drafting with some level, or in the case of, a Chicago or Memphis, a fairly full level of confidence. They're getting an impact player with that first pick. Why not take a legitimate upside swing with that second first rounder and try to strike gold with a center who, if everything comes together for him and he's able to stay healthy, could be one of the most dynamic defensive players in this draft, has shown a little bit of upside handling the ball, passing for others, and could really be one of these Bam Adebayo-like centers who can switch all over the floor and can just give you so much utility on the defensive end. Why not take a swing like that if you have multiple first-round picks?
Absolutely. He's certainly an intriguing prospect. Nathan, this has been a blast. Both times we've had you on has been so much fun. Obviously, we're getting closer, only a couple weeks from the draft. Tell people where they can find more of your content as we get closer to draft day.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at DraftDeeper, but I'll take the few seconds I have left and plug the No Ceilings Collective as a whole. I want to make sure that we get a word out about our draft guide that we're going to be releasing tomorrow. You can find all information on that at NoCeilingsNBA.com. It's the one premium product we offer every single draft cycle. We'll have 100 draft profiles available in that guide, and every single player gets the same amount of coverage, whether they're the first player in the guide or the last player in the guide. 100 full profiles. We'll get you ready for everything you need to know for the draft. Check that out, NoCeilingsNBA.com.
Love it. I know that one's going to be great. Y'all do great work over there at No Ceilings. Thanks again for joining us. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll definitely do this again soon.
Absolutely, guys. Whenever you need me, just give me a holler.
Thanks, Nathan. Nathan Grubel from No Ceilings. You can go follow him on social media at Draft Deeper. He is pumping out the content as we get closer to draft day. And like you said, I did not know about the draft guide that is coming out tomorrow. But if you know anything, if you really keep up at all with the NBA draft, you know about No Ceilings, the work that they do over there. So I'm sure it is going to be great content with that draft guide coming out tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Huey's has been serving the Memphis community since 1970. In this local, family-owned restaurant, you'll find a casual setting and laid-back atmosphere, where entertainment includes writing on graffiti walls and listening to live music every Sunday. Huey's has been voted best burger in Memphis every year since 1984, and most kid-friendly for more than 30 years. With 10 locations across Memphis and North Mississippi, there's sure to be a Huey's close by. Huey's Restaurants, blues, brews, and burgers for over 55 years.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number today is the number 13, and it comes from last night's game 1 between the Spurs and the Knicks. Victor Wembanyama had 13 shot attempts against Karl Anthony Towns. He was 2 for 11, had 9 points, a lot of that at the free throw line against Karl Anthony Towns, and turned the ball over 5 times. Karl Anthony Towns did a phenomenal job against Victor Wembanyama last night. We'll see if that can continue. It feels like a tough ask for anybody, certainly a tough ask for Karl Anthony Towns, but at least in game 1, Cat got the better of Victor.
We're close on big number. My big number is the number 10, and that was Dylan Harper. His 10 points, and that was the most by a rookie in the NBA Finals in a first quarter, playing in their very first finals since the merger in 76. Ricky Sobers had 8 in 76 for Phoenix against Boston in an epic classic 6-game, only 6 games, but it was great. And also 8 points by Kurt Rambis in 1982 from Santa Clara. The second best player ever from Santa Clara. We know Steve Nash is the first.
Yeah.
There's a Santa Clara player in the draft, too, this year.
Yeah, Alan Graves.
That's it.
Yeah, he's a good player. And we know J-Dub with OKC from Santa Clara. So a lot of Santa Clara flavor out there across the NBA.
All right, Brian, it's usually around NCAA tournament time. True or false? Santa Clara's been to a Final Four.
True.
Very true.
Yes,
Very true. You got
yes,
that one down.
yes, I knew that
You
one.
got that one down.
I know that
Landon,
one.
you had it too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say
That's
true.
right, yeah.
Wayback Machine.
Yeah, no, it's going way back, but they've pumped out some good players out of Santa Clara. But you mentioned Dylan Harper. He was really impressive last night.
Why'd they move away from him late in the game?
It's a good question. You know, a lot of people pointing to the fourth quarter and choosing De'Aaron Fox, who really struggled over Dylan Harper, but that big spark that he gave them in the first quarter was huge. You mentioned that 10 points. Do you know what his over under was for points last night?
I don't.
10.5. So he almost passed it in the first quarter. Very easy if you had the over 10.5 for Dylan Harper last night with that 16 points. But no, he was a nice spark off the bench early.
Did you have it?
Oh yeah, I bumped it up to have him over 12.5 points. So we made it a little bit better odds and got some more money out of it. But yeah, no, that seemed like free money when you saw it at 10.5. But it's a good question of why go away from him after he was so good. But you look at what he did in the second half when he played. A little hesitant at times, 2 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 in that second half. So maybe thinking that, hey, hot start out there, but really kind of struggling, and then kind of what he allows defensively can be an issue at times. And so maybe thinking, hey, let's go with the older guy, the veteran, who maybe the shot's not falling, but he can maybe give us a little bit more in other areas instead of going with the rookie.
And the win for New York really gets, I think, everybody even more of a fever pitch looking forward to next week.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, it's gonna be wild. You're already seeing some of the pictures and videos from last night in New York of people watching the game and celebrating. And so, yeah, and certainly if they can get another win in Game 2, but even without a win in Game 2, it's gonna be madness once we get it to New York City. That fan base, they're already crazy. They'll be even wilder when they're hosting an NBA Finals game. So really looking forward to those sights and sounds from that.
Security lines 2 hours to get in next week?
Probably more than that. Now with the news that the president will be at Game 3, so you're talking big time security for that game, and certainly for all the other games that will be top notch. I'm sure everybody getting the talk today after the fan last night on the court of, hey, we gotta be more on our P's and Q's down there at the court level.
Yeah, that probably sent Madison Square Garden into double practice next week.
Yeah.
Where will it have, they probably won't, but in a seat or in a box for the president?
Oh, I'd say a box. I haven't seen anything. I know Shams Charania reported it about an hour ago that he was going to be in attendance, I believe, for Game 3, but I did not see anything on where he's going to be sitting. But I would assume a box. Get it up there and get the bulletproof glass all set up for
President
him.
Clinton, for the Arkansas Final Four games in '94 in Charlotte, was in a box. At the regional final in Dallas, I mean, he was like fourth row, mid-court now.
Just hanging out with everybody.
The 2 rows behind him and 2 rows in front of him. you weren't messing with him.
Absolutely not. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that looks like for Game 3 at MSG. But let's go ahead and wrap up the second hour, get to a break, and when we return, we talked about it earlier, really interesting question of all the big sporting events, playoffs, everything like that. Which would you keep? Which would you cut? We'll go through that list, make our picks next on Sports Time.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See HomeDepot.com/price match for details.
The final round of basketball season is here, and the DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states. Sweat every possession of the series, all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers, sign up with promo code HERD, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's promo code HERD, in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Bet with DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY Reset. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, bet tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hit me smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at OldDominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Wrapping up this right over here on 240 westbound near Lamar. It's had traffic dragging along. TDOT was moving a stalled car in the eastbound lanes of 240 near Getwell. Again, it's busy out here on this side of town as it increases with that volume on 240 east. We've been keeping an eye on it all week long over there where it can get heavy at times coming past Hollywood. Hey, don't let the slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
As we start our third and final hour on this Thursday afternoon, and we got to talk about this interesting tweet. It's from back in March, but Brett brought it to our attention earlier this morning. Sam Block on Twitter at the Block Spot asked this question on social media: keep 3, cut 9 with these sports events: March Madness, the NBA playoffs, the WNBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, the college football playoff, NFL playoffs, Major League Baseball postseason, College World Series, Wimbledon, World Cup, the Olympics, and the Masters. Which 3 are you keeping? So that is the question.
Question for College World Series. Do you think he means specific to going to the Omaha round, or just to a like a regional or super regional? Would going to regional or super regional count as going to?
I would say I would count it as a whole, because since everything else is so wide, it's not like for basketball, it's everything, and so I would say the whole tournament as
baseball,
as a whole,
and it says Stanley Cup playoffs, not finals.
Right. So I would say as a whole.
Well, with that, out of the 12, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have been to 8 of the 12. 7 of the 12.
How about that?
No, 8 of the 12. I can't read my own writing. 8 of the 12.
Wow. I've been to 1. I've been to an NBA playoff game.
I've
been to a March Madness game, so 2.
You have?
That's about it.
That's right.
That's about it. So, you beat me.
I haven't been to Wimbledon. I haven't been to WNBA playoffs. I haven't been to... What's the other one? Olympics.
2028 could change that.
Sure could. I would go to all these if at a place and it was conducive, easy, no problem. I would go to every one. I don't think it'll ever happen for me to be at Wimbledon, and and that's where I started. So I did my list, and we'll get to the 3. At 12, I have, and I think I'm missing something.
Okay.
Go through the 12 again.
March Madness, the NBA playoffs, the WNBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, college football playoffs, NFL playoffs, Major League Baseball postseason, College World Series, Wimbledon, World Cup, the Olympics, and the Masters.
Okay, that's what I had Stanley Cup on there twice. I shouldn't have. It would be okay. So my 12. I start with the 12th, and it. For one thing, it's halfway around the world, and I don't see me ever being there, and it's not my sport at all. I never watch, so I wouldn't. Wimbledon is 12. I wouldn't go. 11. I haven't had the chance. I would go, not as averse to it as I am tennis. I would go to the WNBA playoffs. I would go to U.S. Open in New York, especially a night match.
Yeah,
I would,
for sure.
Even with my aversion too. I can't stand tennis. So 10 would be, and I've been to, and it was fun, but I wouldn't make any trouble to go to Stanley Cup playoffs. 9, Olympics. Very rare that you can go, and unless it's in the United States, like Atlanta in '92, that I do regret not going to. I don't think I would ever go to winter. I might not go to Winter Olympics if it was in Blytheville, because I don't want to pay to go be cold. World Cup, I'm going, so I'm not too opposed to it. 7, College World Series. 6, March Madness. 5, NBA playoffs. 4, NFL playoffs. So there's my cuts. There's my cuts, my 9 cuts. So the 3 that I would keep, and I would go to these, to every single game, every single year, if I could. Number 3, not game, but a tournament, the Masters. 2, college football playoffs. and number one, October baseball postseason.
Okay, so what list are we doing? Are we doing what are we keeping, or are we doing what do we want to go to? Like what we would go to? Okay.
Your top three is what you'd go to.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, so these are what we're going to.
Completely.
Yeah.
That changes my list big time.
I thought we were just choosing the three.
And you can
and
do it
then
however
the
you'd like.
rest.
Yeah.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I'll do it with that. It just changes my list.
And except for tennis, I'm not hardcore. I would go to all this.
Yeah.
And I would go to tennis U.S. Open in New York.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
There's no way you could not pay for it and me enough to go to the Australian Open and get on the time machine and cross the international date line.
Yeah. I don't blame you on that. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do my list now with what I would go to because, mine changes. And I think I've changed mine to where I at least like it a little bit. But it might be off. Forgive me if it's off. Okay, I'll start at number 12 with the WNBA playoffs. Number 11, Wimbledon. I'd go to Wimbledon. I just have it low on my list. I probably wouldn't go to Australia. I'm scared about going to Australia just because of all the animals they have over there. Yeah, no, I think not going to the Australian Open for me is just those critters that they have over there.
Oddly, I would go to. I would go to U.S. Open. Second of the slams, I would go because I love the surface and the clay court. I would go to French Open before I would Wimbledon or in just no scenario Australia.
Yeah, but I do. The weird thing is like I'm terrified to go to Australia, but I think I would love going to Australia because like I would go to the tennis, I would go to cricket, I would go to Australian football. So like there's a lot of sporting events in Australia that I would go to. No, Australian football. They have it's a real thing. It's not rugby.
I'm pulling your leg here.
Okay, well I was just making sure.
Can you bet on it?
Oh,
can you bet on it?
I have bet on it.
The question of the 21st century.
That is the wrong question to ask. Of course,
but then after you get there, you got to get back.
Yeah, that's true. No, the travel is crazy. That's part of the reason I don't want to go over there. But I think I would enjoy a visit to Australia. But I put Wimbledon at 11. At 10, I put March Madness. 9, I put the Masters.
College basketball guy that you are, you got March Madness at 10. Brian, I was scared to have it at 6. I was scared it may affect us.
No, I want to be at home watching the games first weekend. And plus, I mean, look, I love college basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. I love
you like the grind of it.
I do. But we put such an emphasis on the first 2 days of March Madness where there's all those games, really the first 4 days. Then it's like everybody's out, and now we're waiting until the Sweet 16, and then there's only a handful of games. I mean,
you did.
Like, I love March Madness, but like I would rather be at home watching March Madness. So if we're just talking about what we want to go to, I would rather go to all these other things over going to March Madness. And I certainly don't want to go to the Final Four. I would go to the Opera before I go to the Final Four. I mean, I think it would be miserable.
Don't threaten friends like that. Have you ever been to the Opera?
No, I haven't. That's why I put it because
worse.
I think I would like to watch paint dry than go to the Final Four. Honestly,
Brian, we're pretty tight, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
We know a lot about each other.
Yes, we do.
I'm going to tell a secret on you.
Please do.
You hate the NCAA tournament bracket.
I just don't like filling them out. The bracket is fine. I like the setup of March Madness.
There were a couple times I thought you were going to tell me, Brett, I'm not doing the bracket. I'm not doing one on there. I can't stand it.
I just don't like filling them out because what I find, for me at least, with my friends, I hate it because I fall in love with all these teams, and so it's hard for me to pick one over the other. And then I'll get my friends that are like, "Oh, you're the guy that watches the most college basketball, and you're terrible at doing brackets." And I'm like, "Whatever, man, get out of my face." So I just don't. I'm not a huge fan of filling brackets out. But that's beside the point. I do like March Madness. I love March Madness. But if we're just talking about what we would go to, I would rather go to all these other ones over March Madness just because I would like to be at home watching March Madness instead of in an arena.
And I've got a great friend of ours that says College World Series should just be Omaha, in his opinion.
Okay.
So I have not gone. I've been to Super Regionals.
Okay. We'll just do Omaha.
I've been to Regionals as well, but not to Omaha.
We'll just do Omaha by itself. I have 9, the College World Series at Omaha. Again, like I would go to it. I would really enjoy it. I really like college baseball. It just ranks lower than everything else for me on this list. 8, I have the I have the Masters at 8. Would love to go. But also that's another thing of like, I like going to golf tournaments. I think it's a lot of fun. But there's a lot going on while you're following whatever you're following. And with the Masters, you can't have your phone on you.
It's hard.
It's hard to keep up with everything out there. So I have it pretty low for me. 7, I have the Stanley Cup playoffs. Would love to go to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Think it would be a blast. 6, NBA playoffs. Probably more into the conference finals and the actual NBA finals. For that, number 5, I have the college football playoffs. Number 4, I have the World Cup. Would love to go to the World Cup. Would think it would be really, really cool to go to. 3, I have Major League Baseball playoffs. 2, I have the NFL playoffs. And number 1, I have the Olympics. Would love to go to an Olympics event. I would love to just spend a day where you go from venue to venue to venue watching different sports. I think that would be a blast. Olympics, by far, number 1 for me.
I can't read the language with one text about not going to the Final Four over the opera.
Okay, the thing about the Final Four,
and I replied back, I would go to jail over going to the opera ever again. I've been once. I would go to jail.
My thing with the Final Four is I'm just being realistic. If I was able to be center court, 3rd or 4th or 5th row, then cool. I think it's ridiculous that we're playing these games in big old stadiums, and if I was to go to one, I would be sitting somewhere where I can't even see the court. So I would rather do a lot more things. Maybe it was a little out there to say the opera, but I was just trying to pick something. But there are a lot of
winter
things
or summer Olympics.
Summer, but I would enjoy the winter as well. But I
would
love the summer more.
You would go to Kitzbühel.
I would go to anything. I would go to anything. I would go to any event. I love
I just hardly will pay money to be cold.
Well, yeah, certainly not. That's why summer's certainly in front for me. But like, I'd go and watch the snowboarding events or the skiing events. Like, those are cool to watch. So I'd enjoy going. I just love all the countries going up against each other.
Summer Olympics, you can only go to one event. What event do you go to? I regret not going in '84 when I could have.
I would say
more than '92.
I would say going probably swimming. That'd probably be probably what I'd do. Swimming's electric.
And this is how boring I am.
Or track. Those are electric.
Field events.
Yeah.
That's what I want to go see.
No, I think I like that.
That big old hammer throw.
Yeah. No, the track and field events, those are fun.
I'd go to the weightlifting.
Yeah. I'd go to
weightlifting.
Yeah, I know you would. But yeah, no,
What's that supposed to mean?
I'd love to. I mean, you work out all the time.
I've already competed in weightlifting.
Not a dig at you. Yeah, you're a gold medalist.
Oh yeah, I did do that.
You did do that. So you already won the medal. All right, your list, Landon.
All right. It changed up my list just a little bit, but this is basically what I'm rocking with here. 12 for me, WNBA playoffs. Nothing against them, just no real interest on my end there. 11, Wimbledon. Could be interesting to go and see and check out, so I'll have them at number 11. Sorry, this might affect some people. 10, I have College World Series. I'm just not as huge as a college baseball fan as most people might be. So for them, I really liked all the reasoning you gave, Bryant, on March Madness, because I would rather watch as many games as possible at home with the multiple screens than I would be at just one singular game. So I have them at number 9. Number 8, Stanley Cup playoffs. I do love hockey. I loved going to hockey games, but I don't think it's much of a priority for me. 7 for me, I would put the MLB playoffs, mainly because I don't think I'm going to see my Mets there for a while. That would be the only team that I would want to go see as of right now. So that would leave me at number 6 with the NBA playoffs. I would love to be at one of those kind of games. Number 5 for me, I would put the Olympics. I'm going to put the Olympics at number 5 because it is a lot, and I don't think you can experience everything, but just the total sports that they have. I mean, you're getting basketball, you're getting soccer if you so choose. I mean, you're getting a lot. Yeah, badminton. I mean, if that's something you want to do, Bryant, you can go right ahead and watch.
Walking,
sprinting,
that might be one
swimming.
where I might pass on the.
I like
the
how
walking.
they're getting it.
They are getting it. I might skip that one though.
Would you go do platform diving?
Oh yeah,
I would in a second.
No, I would never platform dive. I'm not getting all the way up there.
Well, cannonball.
But yeah, no, I'm not doing anything.
I don't think that score would be very high.
No,
but we would give you.
But I'd watch it. I watch it.
And when I peel my shirt off, it freaked the judges out.
Well, yeah, I guess that's part of it too.
That is.
It'd be tarps on.
Yes, tarps on.
Might be. My number 4, just missing the cut for me, is the college football playoffs. As somebody who loves college football, I would absolutely love to go to one of those events, but I think I would rather go to my top 3 more so. My number 3, the World Cup. I think anytime that I see the crowds or see clips of crowds at soccer games nationally, whatever it is, they are rowdy. They are having fun. They come up with chants that don't make sense, but I'm all here for it. I would love to.
I'm scared of some of the chants. I'm afraid I'll say the wrong thing.
Yeah, well,
well, that's the thing, Brett. I don't think you can. I think they come up with something that's just random, and then they roll with it. So I would love to be at those events because they seem electric. My number 2 is the Masters. I love going to golf events. I love not being on my phone. I love knowing the prices of the food at the Masters is not very expensive either.
And good.
And very good as well. So I would absolutely love to go to the Masters. And then the number 1 for me, I'm going to an NFL playoff game, and I'm having a great time.
Yeah, I like that. I was watching a friendly last night after the NBA Finals went off. Who was it? It was Wales and Ghana. I was watching in a friendly.
Throw the record books
and,
out.
Oh man, the Ghana fans were having the time of their lives in this friendly.
Are they Ghanaians or Ghanaians?
Brett, I don't know. I don't know what to call them.
They're soccer fans.
But we know what the Whales are. The Welsh.
That's right. I wanted to be among them. I mean, they looked like they were having a great time. I was like, man, get me out there.
Absolutely.
Let me root their team on.
I do like the spirit of it. And
that's awesome.
At the MLS game in St. Louis, you felt a really healthy, good, clean, fun vibe.
Yeah. No, I think MLS has got something good going. I think the World Cup being here is only going to help them, get more excitement and more people interested in their product.
It amazes every friend I've ever had that I'm going and looking forward to. I had one. Who's making you? Nobody's making me. I'm driving to Kansas City.
Yeah, no, I love that you're going. It doesn't surprise me that you're going because I know you are one that likes to check off those bucket list things. So.
Now, the Big Hook wanted to go anywhere, but was not going to Canada or Mexico. Wanted to do it in the contiguous 48 states. Then when I saw in Kansas City the same weekend of Cardinals Royals,
absolutely.
I mean Yahtzee. Absolutely. I mean that was it.
Absolutely. No, it makes a lot of sense, and I am glad you are going. We still got to do our homework on who are the 2 teams you're seeing again.
I'm seeing Curacao and Ecuador.
Okay, we got to do our homework on Curacao
a lot.
and
Ecuador. Now I'm for Curacao.
Yes, we've already.
What if my seat's in the Ecuadorian section? Play it up. Do like I do the Canadian fans when I see them in Busch Stadium. See you at the World Series.
Yeah. No, you got. I do think that is the problem, but I think whoever you're seated around, I feel like you do got to kind of root for their team. I think you got to kind of side with them.
Friendly reception or foe on Friday night at the Royals game, walking around with my Cardinal hat on. How do you think it'll be greeted? Aggressively? Yeah,
I don't think
whatever.
I mean, the Royals are pretty bad right now, so I think it'll be fine.
They've won a World Series more recently than the Cardinals have.
They have, but
and in the one that they met in.
That's right. I don't think it would be. I don't think it would be too bad. I think it would be fine.
This is the full exorcism for me with anything with Don Dinkinger to be at that stadium and finally bury it.
Sometimes you need that. You
really do. That good
that
cleansing.
I love it.
turn a big page and going to tear the place down.
That's right.
After a few years after I go, when they're headed to the new ballpark downtown.
Exactly right. Yeah, that is exactly right. I did
Arrowhead and Royal Stadium, anything but downtown.
Yeah,
it's way out.
It is. It definitely is. I looked up. We talked about it last week or the week before about what Curaçao's nickname is. They're the Blue Wave. How about that?
Is that right?
Yeah, the Blue Wave. That's at least what Google's telling me.
I'm going to have on blue because you know how I'm dressing.
Yeah, I
since I'm going to football.
Yes, I love it.
I'm dressing like I'm going to football. I'm going to have Ole Miss polo on and shorts.
I like it. So yeah, you can rock the blue and root for the Blue Wave. I like it.
Brian, you know my only other trip to Kansas City.
I don't.
Ever.
I don't.
Classic Tigers Razorbacks on Friday night.
Is that right?
Sweet 16, really close game. Larry Finch's last best chance in the tournament. Arkansas wins. Second game that night, UVA upsets Kansas. Kansas had taken over the town with the proximity. And then on Sunday, about half-empty arena, Arkansas beats UVA to go to back-to-back Final Fours in 95 after winning it in 94.
Interesting.
Really good games.
Yeah.
All three games were good games.
That's awesome.
So hope my 2 games I get for Cardinals Royals and the Blue Wave against Ecuador. What's Ecuador's nickname?
I just looked it up. They are La Tree. La Tree.
Like
so.
the tree?
No, it stands. La Tricolor is the actual name. I probably butchered that pronunciation.
I'm just scared to death. I'm going to say something wrong and spark an international incident.
Well,
Just
I
don't
hope
want
not.
to.
Not in Kansas City. I certainly hope not. But it is in reference to
CNN breaking news.
Yeah.
Guy in Ole Miss polo.
You don't want that. You certainly don't want that. But La Tree is in reference to the 3 colors of the Ecuador flag. So there you go, La Tree. I love it. I love it. I'm excited for you to get.
Did you see today the Shenanigans World Cup ticketing pulled?
I saw something about it. I didn't look too much into it. But
About bogus.
What was the gist of it?
Well, several weeks ago, somehow, some way, something was sent out, and the pricing structure was very, very, very reduced, very cheap tickets.
Okay.
Well, people pounced on it. They said, nope, not sending you tickets. It was an error and, equipment malfunction.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't see any of those cheap tickets because I probably would have pounced on them and I would have been very upset. Yeah.
You made the mistake.
No kidding. I mean, they got to do something about that. They can't just say tough luck. I mean, that's insane.
Now, you know if the bank gives you back too much money, you know you're not supposed to be getting that. But you're out there just how we do tickets now, and you see a deal and you jump on it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think I think they should do something for that. I don't really know what the answer to that is. I mean, at this point, I've heard so many complain about the lack of tickets being sold. I think they should probably just say, hey, take them and fill up these stadiums, and we'll worry about the rest later.
I mean, I would assume some of those people knew that this isn't right, though. That this is too cheap.
Absolutely.
So I guess they have redress.
Yeah. No,
unlike the drive-through liquor store in Oxford. One time, me and a great friend were going through way back in the day, and we are trying to buy a case of beer.
Okay.
And I don't know what it costs in $16, whatever it costs. Sure. And we give the clerk. I'm driving. I give the clerk a 20. He gives me the case of beer and my 20 and a 20 back.
Oh, wow.
And my friend said, no, we can't do it like that. We can't do it like that.
Can't do that. Wow. Yeah, that is those are those kind of tests on what type of person you are.
What a deal. You get the brew, and you keep your 20, and he gives you one.
Be very hard to
and came back and gave said, hey, you made a mistake. Yeah. He said, oh man, thanks a lot. He said, if I wouldn't have towed it up at the end of the day, I'd have been in big trouble.
Oh, absolutely would have. Yeah, that's wild. But yeah, those are the tests in life to see if you are a good person or not. But that was fun. Talking a little bit about all these big events that we have really across the globe with some of these, like the Olympics, Wimbledon, the World Cup, which will get started here very
I'm
soon.
a goer. I'd go to almost anything.
Oh, definitely.
At least once.
Sure, to experience it, absolutely. absolutely. I think it would be a lot of fun. But we're going to get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet. The Dobbs family, an old established name, is back in the car business in Memphis. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, located at 7850 Highway 64 in Bartlett, offering a full selection of new Chevrolets and quality used cars to meet every need and budget. Head out there and check out the beautiful new vehicles like the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500 with its Turbo Max engine, off-road capability, and advanced technology on the interior. While you're out there, you can purchase it and get 2.9% APR for 72 months. But while you're out there, check out some of these other different types of vehicles like the 2026 Chevy Traverse or the 2026 Chevy Equinox, a redesigned, rugged meets modern style vehicle with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder gas engine. At Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it's fully transparent pricing, no hidden fees, no games, and they cover all your needs with their service department. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet welcomes you to a new way of providing excellent customer service. Their great team is ready to help you find that next perfect vehicle for you at great prices. Head out there to Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet in Bartlett at 7850 Highway 64, open Monday through Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go online and view the vehicles at DobbsBrothersChevy.com, but head out to Bartlett and check out those vehicles in person. Take them on a test drive at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue.
Nothing symbolizes your love like a natural diamond, and nothing compares to the real diamonds you'll find at Sissy's Log Cabin. Here, you'll only find brilliant natural diamonds that have been here long before your I do, and that will become more treasured with time, just like your love. Explore our expansive selection and enjoy unmatched quality and service at your nearest Sissy's Log Cabin or at sissyslogcabin.com. Find a real natural diamond worthy of your story only at Sissy's.
Being there for those we love can be so hard for people with chronic migraine. 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It prevents, on average, 8 to 9 headache days a month versus 6 to 7 for placebo. Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Botox effects may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as trouble swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Those with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions like rash, breathing problems, dizziness, neck and injection site pain, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions like ALS, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medicines like botulinum toxins, which may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor about Botox. Visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com or call 1-800-44-BOTOX.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See HomeDepot.com/price match for details.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Good afternoon.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We got a couple of accidents out here right now. It's just busy over here on 240 East, just trying to get past Mill Branch, all the way over to 385 as you get on to Bill Morris Parkway, cranking up pretty good. Going outbound there, out towards the Collierville area. It's still a bit heavy going outbound Summer Avenue here at Sycamore View Road. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse in your car, truck, having transmission issues. Let the guys at Amco Transmissions check out your vehicle. 2 locations right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and several things to discuss during what's trending today. But I did want to bring up, I got this Lindy Sports magazine in front of me. I wanted to point out some things that they have in here because I think some really interesting
I'm just sitting
things.
here with nothing.
Yeah,
you're
sorry.
You're just floating it right under my nose.
I'm really not trying to, but there are some things in here that I got really excited about.
Can't wait to see you anyway tomorrow. Can't wait to get my hands on it.
I know.
I let you down though.
No, you didn't. No, look, I don't expect anything from you, Brett. I mean, it's very nice when you.
But I promise.
When you bring this thing, well, but hey, it's not your fault that they don't have it in stock. You made the effort to go and get it, and they didn't have it. So I can't blame you. I can only blame other people.
You have done the big dive too into Lindy's.
Kinda. I don't oversell, Brett. It is. I would not call it a deep dive. I flipped through a handful of pages, but I did want to bring some things up from it. We'll start with their top 25. Where is the kind of consensus for Ole Miss in the other magazines? As I try to find the top 25.
Lindy's is the most favorable. Sporting News, good and in the playoffs. Athlon, out of the playoff picture.
Interesting. Okay. So in Lindy's, they have Ole Miss at number 9. They have Oregon at number 1, Texas at 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4, Indiana 5, Georgia 6, Miami 7, LSU 8, Ole Miss 9, and USC 10. For their playoffs, they have the teams getting the first round byes: Oregon number 1, Texas 2, Ohio State 3, Notre Dame 4. Their first round matchups, they have Boise State out of the group of 5 as the number 12 seed, going up against number 5 Indiana, 11 Texas Tech against 6 Georgia, 10 USC against 7 Miami. And how about this, Brett? In the 9-8 game, Ole Miss heading down to Baton Rouge to play LSU.
And that's something in a year not on the schedule to go there, and a rare back-to-back years because how the schedule has changed. Ole Miss goes to Oklahoma, goes to Norman 2 years in a row, last year and this year, and LSU will come to Oxford 2 years in a row. And so that we would not miss the trip to one of the friendliest places on earth.
That's what everyone says. Everyone loves talking about how friendly they are. Yeah.
I want it just like it is.
Yeah.
Don't go changing. They're not.
No, they certainly are not. Yeah,
they're not even if you ask.
No. There's no need to say that because they are not changing
when it was
anything.
COVID year and the Ole Miss LSU game got rescheduled a couple of times and ended up not playing it until Saturday, December 19th. And on the TV schedule that day, it was kind of the appetizer to the SEC championship game, being the main event, the entree. And we're out on Friday night, and people were starting to get back out then. The restaurant was packed and great in Baton Rouge. And even at that time of year, everything decorated for Christmas and all the, kind of the in-house music's playing. And They don't go changing. It was the same stuff out on Friday night.
I love it. Don't go changing. Be who you are. And yeah, they certainly are not changing anytime soon. You talked earlier about the Heisman odds that are being posted.
Yeah, my not top story.
Yeah, it's exactly right. They have a Heisman Watch section in here. Arch Manning 1, Trinidad Chambliss 2, Jeremiah Smith 3, Dante Moore 4, Julian Sayin 5 to round out the top 5 in their Heisman Watch. So obviously a lot of quarterbacks in there, a lot of quarterbacks throughout the rest of their top 10 as well. It feels like we're gonna have a really, really fun year of quarterback play.
I'm 3 out of 4 with Lindy's on the top 4 seeds. If Lindy's if it fell just like they say. Then that probably means they think LSU wins the regular season game in Oxford. Because the winner of that, and you both have one loss, the winner would have dibs, would be a seed higher, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
And you've got a bunch of that in the SEC this year, that the regular season, that head-to-head, that will probably decide seeding.
Yeah, no, it definitely
and
will.
Should.
And Lindy's actually, they predict the whole thing. They go through the entire playoffs. They have, let's see, well, it looks like they just kind of take their top ones of the seeds, so the top seeds advance. So it's not really a prediction, but they do have a final score prediction for the national championship game. Oregon 27, Texas 21, with Oregon winning the college football playoffs.
Remember last Friday when we did it, I had Oregon beating Ole Miss in Vegas for the national championship.
Yeah,
that'd be 4 years in a row for the Big Ten and 4 different teams, and that'd cut right to the quick, wouldn't it?
It sure would. I had Oregon as my top team, I believe. I don't remember if I had them winning it or not. I had Miami beating Oregon in the national championship game when we did that on Friday. So at least having Oregon in there, but not necessarily
be a matchup with 2 big-time quarterbacks.
It sure would be. It would be a lot of fun. I mentioned Memphis earlier in this magazine. They have Memphis 5th in the American. I believe they have them 12th, the 12th best group of 5 team in the country, with obviously the 4 teams in front of them from the American, Boise State in front of them, UNLV in front of them, and a couple of other group of 5 teams ahead of them. But it feels like Lindy's really leaning on the fact of lack of continuity, a lot of new places or faces in new places, and so I think they're leaning more on that instead of kind of the potential of the talent on the roster.
Very lightly shaded pencil. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you how it fell out.
Okay.
I think the Tigers' schedule is brutal.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's very tough. It's
very tough. First 3
are
really, really tough. And then in conference, tough.
Yeah.
Both Army and Navy at Tulane.
Yeah. No. At South Florida.
Home against East Carolina, right?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, the road games in conference at Charlotte, at Tulane, at South Florida, and at Navy. So you got to go to Tulane, to South Florida, to Navy. Lindy's
kind of would sign up for 2 and 2 on the road, wouldn't you?
Certainly. And you look at the Lindy's, the way that they have the conference falling out. All three of those 4 teams, certainly Charlotte, everyone predicting to be the worst team in the American. But the other 3 all ahead of the Tigers, according to Lindy. So really tough to have to go on the road there. And another thing, that we've talked about, but you can say whatever you want about Arkansas State. A lot of these magazines think they'll have a pretty good season, but they're smack dab in the middle there of UNLV on the road and Boise State on the road. It's like the worst possible time for Memphis to play Arkansas State because of everything that's going around with the week before and the week after. So, that's certainly going to be one to keep on alert because you've got to be on your P's and Q's for that game.
And, Brian, I'm going to say it. I know these words make a lot of people mad. I think it make a lot of people mad because it hits the center of the bullseye, and Arkansas State fans will cop this the week of. How dare you say that? It is their Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
When they come to Memphis, it is.
Yeah, no, it's a big game. Certainly a big game for them. And, if they can figure out some things, then I think they'll be ready to go. It'll be week 1 for them.
Why does the Super Bowl term make everybody so mad when it gets labeled that? Because the LSU game, it's Ole Miss the Super Bowl.
I think a lot of times it's not used in that sense of maybe two teams that are at least going into this season, pretty even. It's usually kind of a team patting the other team on the head and like, this is your Super Bowl. This is your biggest game of the season.
Down boy.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's like just using Arkansas State as an example. We talked about it all the time. It's very true. Last year when they played Arkansas, that's their Super Bowl. I mean, that's the big team in the state. I mean, and so for a lot of Arkansas State fans, I'm sure the Arkansas fans say that, okay, Arkansas State, we'll let y'all play us. This is y'all Super Bowl. Get ready for it. So I think it's usually in that sense that it's used. And I think that's why it makes everybody pretty upset.
It steams everybody up.
It really does. It absolutely does. Other thing,
and this year for Ole Miss, everybody talking about September 19th in that game.
Oh yeah.
The very next week, Ole Miss has got to go to the Swamp.
Yeah, no,
and we know what happened last time.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
last time we went
right.
to Swamp, and J.J. Pegues was the leading rusher.
Well, yeah, that. So yeah,
from running backs.
Yeah, well, that's not great, but yeah, I mean, it's really difficult. So
and tried to kick one outside. No. Straight
yes.
ahead.
If you're getting in
Straight
there, just
ahead when
up
you're
the
that
middle,
big.
Up
Don't
the
kick
middle.
anything outside.
Don't need to go outside. The other interesting thing, and I think pointed it out with every preseason magazine, Lindy's predicts Marcus Stokes will be the starting quarterback. So that means all three magazines that we have out so far predict the West Florida transfer to be the starter over Aaron Nolan. We'll see how it plays out.
It's gonna be a fun August of competition.
It's gonna be great. Charles Huff has not missed a beat. Every time he's asked about it, every time he talks about it, they're gonna go into the fall. They're gonna be evaluated in the summer with what they do off the field. They're gonna go into the fall in a battle, and he hopes to be able to make an announcement a week or so to the team. It might be around game day when we really learn who that starter is gonna be.
Remember one time when we didn't think Seth Hennigan was going to come out of August with the job?
No, that's
and he kept it for 4 years.
He sure did, and had a great career. So we'll see what happens, but definitely some interesting stuff there from Lindy's. And now that I'm learning we got an ESPN magazine coming out, we'll have to get our hands on that. I mean, everybody putting out preseason magazines.
We're about to hit our max on magazines.
No kidding. I mean, it feels like, certainly more because Sporting News is the first time since 2012 that they've put out a magazine. I don't know if ESPN's been putting out preseason magazines every year. I mean, it feels like more people are coming to the table with the college football preseason magazine.
At a time we hear that the magazine business is dying.
Yeah.
And you can't find them.
That's right, and it seems like
because they're sold out, not
right.
lack of.
No, they are
publishing.
No, definitely not. No, people try to get their hands on them as quick as possible, but always fun to flip through those.
Did you see any NFL magazines? I have not yet.
I did not really look.
Only get one, and I usually do. It's odd reason. I like to see all the different assistant coaches.
Okay, I don't hate that. I don't think that's weird. This might be even weirder. I'll probably be back at Barnes & Noble tonight, so I'll look while I'm there tonight and see if I see.
Don't buy me anything else. Thank you though for my Lindy's.
I will not, but I had to get it while I was there and I saw it in stock. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's Crunch Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Huey's has been serving the Memphis community since 1970. In this local, family-owned restaurant, you'll find a casual setting and laid-back atmosphere where entertainment includes writing on graffiti walls and listening to live music every Sunday. Huey's has been voted best burger in Memphis every year since 1984 and most kid-friendly for more than 30 years. With 10 locations across Memphis and North Mississippi, there's sure to be a Huey's close by. Huey's Restaurants, blues, brews, and burgers for over 55 years.
Old Dominick Distillery is pouring Memphis pride into every cocktail. From the winning atmosphere at its downtown Memphis distillery to award-winning craft spirits, Old Dominick is pure Memphis spirit through and through. Swing by the distillery bar for a pregame cocktail or celebrate your wins with a guided tour and tasting. Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See HomeDepot.com/price match for details.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet piquilla peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Come with me now. Come with me now.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival, Tennessee.
Goodbye! It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call, 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco Crunch Time emergencies. Well, Brett, I just learned this like 20 minutes ago. I had no idea about this. Did you know that the Oakland, Sacramento, Las Vegas, whatever you want to call them, homeless athletics are playing a series next week in Las Vegas. They're going to go and do a little bit of a test run in Vegas, taking advantage of as many minor league
really
ballparks. I guess so, but the stadium nowhere near being ready. The goal is to have it ready by 2028, but they're going to go out there and play at their AAA affiliates ballpark in Las Vegas, and I guess just start getting their toes in the water in Las Vegas. Let that fan base, let those people in Las Vegas get more acclimated with them and know them a little bit more. They'll be hosting the Milwaukee Brewers, so they got a good team coming in to play in that series, but I had no idea, and I'll be interested to see what the turnout is like next week, what they do around that, if they really try to sell the future and different things coming down the line when they ultimately officially move to Las Vegas. But definitely interesting to go ahead and get out there a little early and play at their minor league ballpark.
You mentioned the Brewers. Maybe we need to do a talent evaluation scouting of what the Giants have done to the Brewers. Thank you, Tony Vitello. What I learned today, the most recent time the Knicks led in the NBA series, it was that Friday, June 17th, 1994. One of the wildest days ever for all of us around. You remember that day, right?
Oh, of course.
1994.
Absolutely do.
Arnold Palmer's last round at Oakmont at the U.S. Open, and everything on TV with OJ and the slow speed chase. Unreal news-breaking day.
Yeah, no, that is sounds like an extremely busy day, no question. What I could have done without, well, it was the offensive performance from the Spurs last night. Just really couldn't get much going throughout that game. We talked about what they did from the field for the game, shooting pretty poorly, but then in the fourth quarter, when it was crunch time, when they needed to make shots, only 28.6% from the field. Really, nobody had answers. Victor Wembanyama was pressing all night, couldn't really get into a rhythm, even though he finished with 26 points and led the team in scoring. Just never felt like he was in a groove last night. On the other side, Jalen Brunson, when they needed him to step up, he did just that. Hopefully, we see a better offensive showing tomorrow night.
I could have done without the loser that ran out on the court last night, and it just shows, how sensitive and aware that we're going to have to be, especially with the news. Now President Trump saying he may stay in New York and go to both games.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right.
That'll be quite the security nightmare. I can't – there's no way the NBA can enforce league-wide you're banned from every arena. Now, I know they can do it with the ticketing,
sure,
but you can go with a PAL and get in. There's no way they can keep up with everybody coming into the building in Sacramento in late January.
No, it feels pretty impossible to do that. Or maybe
I can't believe what charges.
Well, I mean, he was pretty tame. He just wanted to get his selfie with Victor Wembanyama and then left. So I'm not surprised we didn't see.
I think the deterrent would have been if they'd have clotheslined him, though.
Well, that is true.
But then they would be in trouble.
Sure, the security was very sleepy last night around that fan. Where are you beaming tonight?
The homeless A's at Wrigley. That's not their home, but it's a great place to play. A Cubs loss means they would wake up tomorrow morning. I would look at the standings, and the Cubs would be in last place in the National League Central. Who had that in the preseason?
You did, in fact. That would be hard to believe. I mean, again, the team that has gone on two separate 10-game win streaks would be at the bottom of the division. Hard to believe.
A's trying to get to 500, and as a friend knows, how hot will it be in Vegas for those games?
That is a very good question.
It's in a desert.
Yeah, no, it'll be really,
as Al Michaels would say, or Brent Musburger, the boys in the desert.
Yeah, no, it will definitely be hot. I'm sure those players won't be used to it. The fans will, though. I mean, I'm sure most of the fans that will be there will be those fans that go to those AAA games. So I'm sure they'll be fine with the heat. But being me, tonight, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 1 was incredible. We'll see if Carolina can even the series tonight, 7 o'clock on ABC.
Game 2 in Rockin' Raleigh tonight, isn't it? That's not the top of the hill in our Raleigh, but Hockey Town, USA, Raleigh, North Carolina. Tomorrow, before we go back on, tomorrow afternoon, West Virginia and Cal Poly somebody will be up 1-0.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We'll get the Super Regionals started, but a lot of emphasis tonight on the hockey, so a lot of baseball action as well. And then we'll get the college action in tomorrow early in the day, like you mentioned. But a good night of sports. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and